What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Friday Night. It's back to normal now, right? Double A here. So we got, almost normal. We got obviously some new faces in the house. Joe, if you feel like crowding in there on Lucky, go right ahead. Just so we get a shot of your beautiful self there. Guys, I'm CM Chuck. I'm one half of your podcast hosting team here at Just Another Friday Night. The other half, the man across from me, Double A Adamantium Adam.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
And guys, we're going to waste no time right now. We're going to let you know in the house with us right now is Lucky behind me and Joe over there behind Double A of the Now Watch This podcast with Lucky and Joe. See, they're very smart. They put their names right into the show. We didn't think about that. Instead, it's a vague show about a Friday night and nobody knows what we're talking about.
As long as we stay cool, because then we have to change the name.
There we go.
Unless I find someone else named.
There you go.
Damn.
Oh, yours go.
I'm going. My name's Joe.
It's good to see you guys. See, that's why I'll keep the other one here so we know we're in order there, right there. I get it backwards when you're viewing us on the other side, guys. So say hello, guys. Say good night to the Friday Nighters, the Friday Night Faithful.
Well, first, as you can see, we got dressed together.
Yeah, I see. That must have been awkward on the when y'all arrived. You know what I mean? I see. That's the one link I didn't put up with the three-legged rabbit link. I got to put it up here.
Yeah.
I'll get it. We'll get it up. Yeah, guys. So you might recognize Lucky from one of our previous episodes, which was the Dork Night Begins, where we had Lucky on, also known as the Dork Dad, because he has another podcast called the Dork Dad podcast. And I'm not plugging that show tonight, though, because we're talking about his new show he has with Joe. And if you've ever been on one of our lives and you've seen Joe is an avid commenter and avid member of the Friday Night Faithful. We love his content. We love his feedback and input. We wanted to have them on to talk about their show. They had me on a few episodes back on their show. Now watch this. Talking about Clerks. What was that, episode 4, guys?
I think it was 3.
Episode 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was the inaugural.
You're Mephisto.
Yeah. See,
He was our first. So,
I don't bother with episode numbers.
the inaugural guest. Yeah. So that was really cool, man. I had a great time. Got to go out to Luck's house and see his setup and how he did it. And he's been an integral part since we kind of started podcasting, helping us out with stuff and info on stickers and info on shirts. In fact, on his website, I am going to get it up here. So give me a second to what is it at? Look.
It is 3leggedrabbit.com. That's the number 3, leggеdrabbit.com. Yeah, don't spell out 3 because that'll take you somewhere.
I remember you made
Legs?
your black Just Another Friday Night shirt there at 3leggedrabbit.com.
That's right. Boom, just like that.
Exclusively the red logo.
That's right. The red logo there.
Soon to come with the white
and the black.
I'll make some more.
Yeah, and it's cool because the way Lucky does it on three-legged, is this right? This is right? I got
yes.
it. Okay. The way that it's done on there is you can kind of pick. You can pick a sweater. You can pick a hat. Friday Nighter Juan, Jay Dollars has a hat from threeleggеdrabbit.com. It's a great hat, trucker hat. And you can pick styles. It's got a lot of options on there, so it's cool. Obviously, when I sell merch out of my backpack, it's like whatever I have, and that's it. So if you want options, Lucky's.
Yeah, there's things you guys want to see. You guys can comment if you guys want to see some tank tops or different colors or.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I've gotten like about 4 shirts from 3-Legged Rabbits, and the quality is great.
Yeah, then that's just podcast stuff. Obviously, they've got their merch on there for Now Watch This. Lucky's got his Dork Dad merch on there, but he's got some really great other stuff.
Yeah.
I've got
the Joker type shirt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Slimer
I have
shirt.
Some featured artists that contributed, doing some collabs
Nice.
in there.
Very nice.
From Zamfotis Art and a couple others. So there's some cool stuff in there.
Yeah, and I've got the great art, the artist you have on there that did the Chadwick Boseman shirt. It actually says "Rest in Power, King" on there. Really awesome shirt, and the money goes to a good cause. Correct?
Yes, the Chadwick Boseman shirt, "Rest in Peace, King." All the proceeds go to St. Jude's.
Nice. Very nice.
Very nice. Luck's always up to good stuff like that.
There is another collab up there. where we have all the proceeds going to the suicide hotline. So
Oh, very nice.
Right on,
Okay,
man. I'm gonna
good.
check that one out too for sure. I love stuff like that, man. So yeah, you guys go check out threelegedrabbit.com. It's great tees for just any time, any place, anywhere, really. So you know what I mean? And you can get our merch there, their merch there, a bunch of other cool shit too. So guys, so we're gonna do a format a little bit different tonight to let you guys know. Normally we're gonna take a break every 30 minutes. Yeah. No. We had a plan to talk about something, but we're not going to talk about that after all. So.
It's my fault, man. Blame me.
We were going to talk about a movie, which is what Lucky and Joe do on their show. But this is actually kind of better. I think it turned out for the better because now we get to talk to you guys about your show and about.
Yeah, because I want to ask you about your show.
Yeah, we get to talk to you about you guys. Plus, we also don't horn in on y'all's gimmick. You know what I mean? So, last week they talked about.
Watch the gimmick, brother.
Yeah, they talked about No Holds Barred last week, a classic
awesome.
80s movie.
Yeah, awesome.
You know what I mean? And if you know the wrestling business, we can't come out dressed like the Rockers if y'all are the Rockers.
Oh,
that would be like,
no,
what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean?
Like
So-
Midnight Express in it.
But if you listen,
Damn.
if you listen to the episode, it was inspired by your
Yeah, I did.
show.
I heard that, and I thought that was very
Nice.
cool. So,
Very nice.
and we constantly get love and plugs on their show, so we love that, and we try to return the favor. We talked about y'all last week, I think, too.
Yeah, and it was just like we got into that wrestling show, which it went good, and there's a lot of good content there.
Yeah.
Man, if you haven't listened to it, please go listen to it now.
A lot of Joe's best stuff happens when we do our commercial break, and well, what I mean is, we go off on that part on the audio listener, so people listening on Spotify. But if you're watching us on YouTube, you catch all that stuff, and you can go back and catch that stuff, or on Facebook live like we are now.
Shit, we've had almost 30-minute conversations just on our.
And Joe has
our
got
breaks.
some great stuff.
It gets good,
on
man.
our breaks.
Yeah. So definitely go check us out on YouTube, guys. Give us a subscribe on there. We greatly appreciate it. You guys don't do YouTube, right? Strict podcast for you guys.
Well, you know,
Well, the audio will show up on YouTube
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
under Dork Dad podcast.
Okay,
It'll come up just the
The
audio.
mothership.
Shit, then I need to go subscribe to you guys. My bad. I didn't know that you just did the audio on there.
I don't really
Yeah.
promote it, but yeah.
Okay.
well,
It's
and
there.
as you can see, we have a face for radio, so yeah.
As do you know what? We just decided we were going to put our faces out here, whether people wanted to see it or not.
Yeah.
So,
Is that the next JFN shirt? You know,
was it, Face for Radio?
no. A picture of y'all two on the shirt.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I always remember telling Lucky about that about the Dork Dad one. I was like, man, way to go! Just like I'm the logo, and
Yeah.
that's it. I gave it mad props, man.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything. I was like, you know what?
It's a great
Yeah, we
picture.
have it right here.
Yeah, we've got
it's
it
on our
stuck right
fridge.
there on our little mini fridge, guys. I would say we pan over, but then I'll lose my good good angling right there. See that right there? There he is, right there.
Yeah.
So you guys,
I may or may not have left that at a bar.
very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice. You know what? We have
Along with just another Friday night sticker.
one of the Friday Nighters recently put that up on our page that he was like, hey, check this out in the restroom. But we always get spotted at a luchador. I put it right in front of the urinal. So
Yeah, it was pretty cool seeing us on the Hobbies show too on Atomic.
yeah,
Atomic
I mean,
Comic.
yeah, that's right. From the
I was
time
like, hey,
we went. So that was our
sticker.
visit. Our visit last Christmas. Me and Lucky visited Atomic Comics and more, and stuck our stickers on his shit. So guys, normally I check the comments every 30 minutes. I'm going to still do that, but I'm going to try to tighten it up a little bit because we're going to try to make it an early one tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about, this was also supposed to be, in a way, a pre-Father's Day episode. We couldn't do it closer to Father's Day because you guys have work constraints, which is totally understandable. And you're probably going to have major dad duties. The three of you guys are dads. And so, it's cool. Like I call these guys often, a really great thing about you two guys podcast, Now Watch This, is when you talk about certain shows, certain movies, you get to a point where it's kind of like you really hone it in on being about, being dads and, how the movie affects you in that way. And I was like, man, that's really cool.
Don't start.
I-
I'm gonna start crying.
I know.
Yeah.
The only
There we go.
non-crier here is Double A. He'll be sorry. He'll be telling us to get the hell out.
Like, oh, look at these empties.
We're not ashamed to say you cry.
Yeah.
You cry, baby.
Yeah, we're both sitting in the room. I think we're doing Renaissance Man, and I was just
Ah,
like,
shit.
it gets to a couple points in that movie, and it's like,
Mhm.
yeah.
But that's just I want to say, at least for me, that's the love of movies that I have.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
I let movies take me to another place, which to me that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. If you're not getting that experience, why did you, pay to go to a theater or pay to watch it on your TV or however you're managing to enjoy it even through cable. It's like, you're paying in some way to watch it. And it's like, I know you went out and bought a copy of No Holds Barred to watch No Holds Barred.
Damn.
That's a commitment right there. I can hit up Joe for half that cost. I mean,
I couldn't find it. I mean, you can do it on bootleg, but I mean, I wanted to find a legit copy.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it anywhere. So
Bro, don't call me out like that.
So somewhere right now, it's all Mexican, right?
Yeah.
So somewhere Hulk Hogan got a residual check for No Holds Barred for like 42 cents.
Yeah.
He's like, oh damn, brother!
Yeah.
I don't know anybody picked one up. You know
It's
what I
coming
mean?
back.
He's giving them the rip off.
Yeah, rip off.
So guys, I'm gonna check the comments early on. I'm gonna try to check it frequently throughout. To guys, if you have any questions for the Now Watch This with Lucky and Joe podcast, we have Lucky and Joe here in the house, and they're going to answer your questions about their show or any number of topics. We're going to take it all over the place. When I did their Clerks episode, luckily there was no sentimental parts. There was no crying in that particular movie.
There's some sentimental parts, bro.
We didn't get emotional though.
You almost cried when Kevin Smith, that last, statement there.
Someone died.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. It was kind of rough. You know what I mean? So,
Sex with a dead guy.
all right. I cried a little. I probably cried a little today on the way home.
On the inside.
So let me check the comments real quick, guys. The Friday Nighters are in the house. Let's see.
I gotta share y'all.
Foxy Roxy says,
What's up?
go ahead, Double A.
She says, hi, everyone. Double A, CM, Joe, Lucky, Roxanne.
Roxy.
Steve is in the house. He
Steve.
says, cheers, guys. Steve, I got to get a drink here.
And
Yeah.
Joe, I think this one might be for you.
Oh,
This one might be for you.
Which one's that?
Jennifer Martinez says, hi, Honey Bunch.
I think she might be talking to Chuck or.
Hello, Jennifer. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Guys.
She's a fan, except for like when I'm on like 4 hours with y'all.
And you've got to get up early to coach the next day, stuff like that going on.
I'm sorry for keeping him up late too.
Good stuff. See, we did our episode during the day, so it was like I missed the whole. Everyone slept in at the house, and I got to get home mid-afternoon. You know what I mean? So it wasn't too bad.
Oh,
But,
that and you were drunk,
That was that too. Day drunk. So that's always nice.
Damn.
Yes, those ciders went down smooth.
So, guys, how long have you guys been doing Now Watch This? I believe you guys are on episode 6.
We're on 7?
Nice, very
Seven,
nice.
we missed a week, so 8 weeks.
Okay, so about 8 weeks. All right, so that's what, 2 months? Okay. But look, you've been podcasting for a long time, longer than us.
Yeah,
2019?
I think so, something like that. But I was slowest at the start. It was just me,
Yeah.
so my episodes are kind of spread out.
I've heard a variety of your episodes.
Yeah, I was doing week to week, and then maybe a month in between, and 2 months in between. But I've been doing it for a while.
Okay. So you guys want to check out Dork Dad podcast? You can definitely go check that out as well through any of their links on their page, things like that. So you guys can. These guys also have a Facebook group. It is Now Watch This Watchers. Oh,
Nice.
When you're here with us, you're the Friday Night Faithful. You're a Friday Nighter. But when you're watching with Now Watch This, you're one of the Watchers. So that's why we call this episode
Badass.
Who Watches the Watchers. These guys watch.
Yeah.
So when you read the write-up later, I said when podcasters are podcasting, who's listening to the podcasters podcast, I think is what it is. So yeah, guys, you
got to be a dork to get that.
Exactly. we sit around here
My
talking
people.
about that.
Like Joe says, who listens to our podcast? I listen.
Yeah,
to it.
I do.
And he's bullshitting here because he tells me too. He's like, man, I was really funny this week. I said, you'll get tired of yourself. Believe me. I don't even think we listen anymore. Right?
No,
We're like,
no.
I'm way behind on our
Yeah.
show.
I listen because I'm like, man, Lucky really makes me sound good out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the good things is when we started talking about doing the pod, I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, bro, at all. And he's like, dude, just
show up.
come down, sit down, and talk.
So let's talk about that a little
Yeah.
bit. Let's talk about the inception of you
How did
guys'
this
show.
whole thing start?
You know what I mean? Joe, obviously, you're a big podcast fan, and you were very vocal early on to us, and we were like, most of our fans were people that we knew. We were like, and I'm like, do you know? Is that somebody you know? He's like, no, is that somebody you know? Because we're like, oh, we have like an organic fan.
Yeah, we
like,
actually have a whole girl.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, when you first told me about it, you said orgasmic fan.
yeah.
An orgasmic.
No, most of our fans are paid. They're still waiting on payment. We haven't paid them yet, but we told them they were going to get paid to listen. So,
Well, one of the things is I was a podcast fan. I'm a fan like Kevin Smith, now watch this, of course. But how did this get made? You know, those kind of pods. Right. And I heard about you guys pod, and you guys are from San Antonio, so I was like, you know, let me give it a listen. And again, you guys come off so well. You know, it meshes well. You know, Double A drops knowledge, and Double A is a lot like Silent Bob, in that, you know, sometimes he's a man of few words, but when you let Double A go, oh my God. Like,
you get a lot of props on their show. They're like, oh man, he's like an encyclopedia. He knows everything. And I'm just like, what the fuck about me? What am I doing here?
I'm fucking there, like, with my notes and stuff like that.
You're John Walker.
That's right. See, you need John Walker as well. You know?
And so I asked Chuck, I was like, who's your notes guy? He was like, Double A, it's in his head.
I was like, notes. I was like, he's like, no, you don't remember this issue when this happened? I'm like,
bro,
I was like, there was a lot of years at the bar, the alcoholic years that didn't do me any well.
And so, of course, I listened to your guys' show, you know, and Luck came on it. I went and y'all did the live. Y'all did the Christmas episode too. Or you went to him and y'all gave away presents during Christmas to kids.
That
y'all
was
had
really
a toy
cool.
drive.
Luck,
you know,
Luck
who can't get behind that shit?
Yeah, man, that was really cool.
You know, I was like, Luck's a good guy. I started listening to his show, and as you know, I'm a completist. You know, I gotta go back and listen to every fucking episode. So,
and he stumped him on our episode. We had Luck on our episode, and Joe's like, "Hey, remember when you said this?" And Luck was like, "I was like, oh, you're having a Chuck moment, Luck. I know what it feels like." And I'm like, "I don't know shit." A few more comments rolled in here, guys. Jennifer says, "Hi, guys. Hi, Jennifer. Okay, so that wasn't for us. We're not Honey Bunch after all." Jerry D in the house says, "What's up? What's up, Jerry?" I think you guys are going to get together. I think from what I've heard. Sean Smith in the house. Sean is my big wrestling guy who I definitely want to have a huge wrestling conversation with you two guys there as well. Look, you're welcome to come as well if you want. I know we're not as in on the wrestling as everyone else. So.
Listen to No Holds Barred.
You got to hear that episode on No Holds Barred, Sean. So what's up, Sean, in the house? Sean says, nice Bullet Club and Movies shirts. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. I think there's an emoji in there. I can't see him in this format, but I'll check it out later. Steve says, I agree. Great. To the talk. I cannot talk tonight.
Steve says, I agree. Great chemistry between Double A and Chuck. We've known each other for a long time, so it's easy.
Yeah.
And Sean says, bro, I'm down.
He's been wanting to talk wrestling with you guys for a while, so I definitely want to get Sean.
What type of wrestling do you want to talk about? What is there a time period? Because if you want to talk about 09 to right now, I'm blank.
Yeah. He says that, but he knows his guys and knows what's going on.
A match here and there.
Yeah.
You know, but
you still read your what is it? PWI?
Yeah.
You still pick it up and read. I know you watch clips too. I'm a YouTube clip watcher when it comes to wrestling, so it's too hard to keep up. There's too much content.
He said we can go any period. Okay.
Chuck's always sending me pictures of guys with tassels.
That was between us, Joe. What are you talking about?
Those weren't wrestlers.
So. That was in the Warrior.
I was gonna say, I know. We need Nene on now, right now. Jump in here, guys. So, yeah, that guy's great. You see the subscribers on TikTok? Man, he's doing big numbers there.
Damn.
So, guys, if you want to go check out more of Lucky and Joe's stuff, they got a great new video out for their last episode, No Holds Barred. Some voiceover work being done there. Very well done. See, the great abilities that Lucky has is that he can edit in whatever he wants to their show after they record it. So, you know, Joe's on there saying things like, oh, man, my favorite podcaster is Lucky. It's awesome, man. You know what I mean? But their Instagram is long and with a lot of underscores. Now _watch this _pod.
No, you missed the underscore in there.
I missed one in there. So go give them a follow on that. How's that doing for you guys? You guys bumping up the IG numbers? We're struggling.
I don't know. I need to put some more content out there.
Okay. More voiceover work, I think, would be great for y'all. I love that. I was like, that's awesome. I clicked on that link to hear the original voices, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? He changed it. I was like, badass. So it's very cool. The famous scene of No Holds Barred. Everyone knows that scene. So check that out. And they're also on Twitter at Now Watch This Pod. And you can see them tweeting about probably like we do the same shit we say on Instagram. So.
As the kids say, you know, go to the bird.
Go to the bird. Your preferred method. We like to cater to all, you know what I mean? Whatever you're looking for. So, and also become one of the watchers on the Now Watch This.
That's just a cool nickname. That's awesome.
Yeah, and we love it. It makes you think about Uatu from Marvel.
That's all I'm like.
Comics.
I want to dress like that.
Yeah, he was the original
Looking for
Watcher.
the figures.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So guys, we're into the same shit. You guys watch Loki?
I did.
Who's caught
I
up?
did.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I
watched-
Oh, you
I
did it. Oh,
watched it.
Guys, I'll admit I gotta watch some more. Like I want to watch more, but it didn't
again.
turn me off. Yeah.
Okay. I loved it. You saw
Loved
it.
Loved
I'm
it.
an Owen Wilson fan,
Loved it.
so
There's a lot of things that we don't know what's going on yet.
Right.
Which
Right.
I like that it's happening right away.
Yeah. And I
I
like
liked
that
it
it's
at
on
8.
Wednesday because it gives us like a
I
day
like
or
it.
two
I liked
to
it.
talk
I
about
like
it.
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Maybe we talk about it. So
A lot of people are kind of pissy about it for stupid reasons, but
really,
yeah,
what
like
are you
it
hearing?
didn't go nowhere. or
thanks.
something.
No, the Stones.
Oh,
Like
Wow.
it doesn't mean anything there. So people are like, these people died for nothing.
Mhm,
Blah, blah.
mhm.
Watch the new Star Wars prequel if you want to be pissed
Yeah.
off about things that don't
Sequel
mean
or
anything.
prequel?
The new
Oh,
sequels,
there you go.
where I'm like, wow, so Return of the Jedi was bullshit. What the fuck? Like,
Which we still haven't completed our trilogy
yeah,
on that one.
we're holding on to that one. It's just going to be all
He's holding out on
you
that
know.
one.
Well, you guys know me. I'm not a Kevin Smith. I'll find the good in anything. With Double A is out on it, he's out on it.
Well, it's rewatchability for you, right?
Absolutely. I talk about that on you guys' show. So that's another thing, right? I'm bouncing all over, but I'm asking you guys about how you started. But one of the things is like, Steve mentioned, Friday Night or Steve mentioned our great chemistry. We know each other our whole lives.
Mhm.
You guys had not even met in person
No.
by your
No.
third episode, right?
Yeah.
Your
Our
third
first two
episode,
episodes were
2 episodes
this
not
is-
meeting.
yeah.
That's
But-
kind of crazy.
Well,
I
when
was-
you cry on the air together, you kind of
something happens.
yeah,
Something
it's almost like sex,
Oh, wow. It's getting intense in here.
Those,
Yeah.
those tissues are for the eyes.
Oh yeah.
Jennifer, we're going to make sure, does he cry with you as well? Because is that, you know what I'm saying? That's only fair,
Oh,
right?
she's like, "Are you fucking crying at Batman again?" Like,
Damn.
No,
Batman.
I don't know if it was when you guys were on my show or I was on yours, but I mentioned I wanted to do something with movies, and
Mm-hmm.
Joe actually messaged me and said, "Hey, I'd be interested in doing something with you." And some time went by because I got busy, whatever, and then I finally got back with him and said, "Hey, let's do something." And I just got inspired because of his excitement.
Right, right.
He's a podcast fan. He was so eager to get involved, and
I'm just thinking of
he
the old,
motivated me.
I'm thinking of the old Batman show, the Adam West, where they're running together.
oh
and then they
yeah.
turn.
Yeah. I was definitely the Robin, bro.
I need to see you guys climbing the wall together, walking up the wall.
I'll get some green tights. Well, that's when we're talking about doing, possibly doing Batman, Batman '89. Because I think we'll probably have to do this again, multiple times.
Absolutely.
It could be something we get into, but I thought you were gonna come dressed as a Joker. We
Yeah.
saw John Walker here.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. He was here.
Yeah.
It's hard to land those type of celebrity guests. Lucky knows what I'm talking about. He's had a few celebrities on the Dork Dad show. But maybe we'll have to see what the future holds for Batman wise. You guys are the big Batman guys. So when it comes to superheroes, that's y'all's guy. And you know
Yeah.
this show.
You've been to his room, yeah.
Yeah, that's in there in spades. And this show has been kind of known for taking quite a few shots at Batman. Not because we don't like the guy. You know what I mean? We love Batman.
Go Superman.
But, you know what I mean? It's just, there's these moments that he
Got
has
big
where,
blue right there, right there, right there.
I'm not saying I like all of Batman.
The Hershey.
No. I mean, I'm a big fan of on-screen Batman because they've always kind of done it right or whatever. It's the comic book Batman where sometimes it gets on my last damn nerve. And in some of the animated DC movies you had me watch, Joe, where I'm like, oh, wow, you really are a real
Yeah, we didn't like Red Sun Batman.
hard ass.
No,
He
yeah.
was a real cocksucker in that one.
But man, like in a lot of the animated movies, man, I keep telling you, like you gotta watch those. Like it's emotional.
Yeah.
And I get into that about cartoons. It's like
No, man,
It hits a
we
feeling.
talked about that one, the Flashpoint one. The
Yeah.
end, I was like, oh fuck! I was messaging Joe like, dude, what the fuck? I'm at work. Like,
I'm crying at fucking work.
I was like, man, I gotta go to the bathroom,
Me
finish
too.
crying, come back out. Everyone's
That is
like,
one
Yeah.
thing DC does do good.
Oh, yeah.
get you in the
The
feels.
animated movie.
Yeah,
The
those
The
are
animated,
good.
yeah.
But Snyder Cut was good though, right? Y'all
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
cover it.
Yes.
Why didn't y'all cover Snyder Cut?
Because it's 4 hours, and then we can sit there watching it for 4 hours.
Apparently, we didn't stop you from
can.
watching it 4
We can.
times. How many times now, Joe?
It's like 6 or 7.
Damn.
But if you go back and you watch the points, right? Like you watch the part where Flash is talking to his dad when he's running at the end.
We we talked about doing it.
Yeah.
It's just we wanted to do something different. I think, and we thought of that together.
Yeah, last comment.
I was just telling Double A about this, but I really love how you guys have hit on some movies that aren't, what everyone might. We just talked about the Twilight Zone. Not everybody around our age is talking about that. You guys did Renaissance Man. You guys did Field of Dreams. That's really cool. Hey, Joe, hand me that in there. That there's like a bottle of the beer in there. Let's see what we got here.
The near beer.
Yes, the near beer. Thank you. Let me see. We got a few comments here. I want to read real quick because we're getting close to our first break. Gabe's comment says, "How can I get a shirt?" Okay, there you guys go.
Gabriel?
Yeah, Gabe in the house.
Brother-in-law.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's see. Gabriel Vasquez wants to know how to get a shirt. Let me send you to right here. This is the most banners I've ever had.
Right there.
3leggedrabbit.com, and there should be a section that says podcast gear.
My brother-in-law, he's in the Air Force.
Cool too.
Thank you for your service.
You? Nothing?
No.
Okay. I appreciate it. It's non-alcoholic. Guys, see, I'm on the wagon. Let's make sure there. Everyone's
Remember,
like,
we're straight edge for as long as CM says.
yeah. People are like, why are you bothering then?
Bro,
Yeah,
you
I
told
know.
me you were gonna drink. And I'm drinking Michelob, so it's light. So
Oh, there it
not
is.
that bad.
See, I forgot already how to
You're not
do
a
it.
lantern. That's
Man.
So what it is you don't have the just another Friday night auto opener.
You know what? It's here somewhere laying around there, guys. But only because you guys are here, I'm going to have a near beer with you guys. So I hope we got the answer to Gabriel's question about the shirt there at 3leggedrabbit.com. Again, we're here with the Now Watch This podcast with Lucky and Joe. We're getting pretty near that break, but we'll take a few more comments here. Double A, going to go ahead and read those from Sean, I think.
Yeah, Sean says we can do any period, Joe. Any period of wrestling. He goes. He can dig back into the 80s. He's a big fan of the Von Erichs, Bruiser Brody, to the Usos, to Gargano.
Oh, right. Johnny Wrestling's my guy, but only because he's like me and Chuck's height, So we're like, yeah.
Before Joe had his own podcast, he would tell me, he'd be like,
So,
you remind me of Gargano.
I guess
I know.
I guess we just
Same
all have to
physique.
get together and just
we're definitely going to put that together.
Nacho Libre fall in that category.
That's the other body type I tend to relate to in that one. So good stuff, man. Yeah, Sean, we appreciate you being here. But yeah, guys, so
Sean, again, listen to your episode of No Holds Bar.
it was really super funny.
And then follow that up with SummerSlam 89.
Yeah,
to get the sequel.
It's actually on the DVD.
That's what he said.
Yeah,
It's on
there
the
you go.
DVD. They put
So you
those
can
in
get
there.
the sequel to the movie.
Why have a Merry Christmas when you can have a no holds barred Christmas?
Yeah, nice.
What's so great too is that a lot of times it's either one it'll be both of you sometimes, or one or the other will bring like a lot of like something I didn't know. Number one, I didn't know about the incident with Hogan and Mr. T.
Oh yeah.
On the show. My sister's a big fan of Law and Order, so when I looked that up,
not Mr. T.
The host,
Belzer.
Right. I showed my sister that because she loves Law and
Richard
Order,
Belzer,
and she was like, "What the fuck? Like that's crazy! I didn't know Hogan did that to that guy." And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't know either."
Back that driver did kind of look like him.
Right?
Yeah. And I was saying too, me and Double A were talking about it. He was like, "Man, he fucking deserved it because you watch that whole clip, he's being kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Classic pushy host." And I'm like,
it's a classic fucking wrestling hater, bro. Like they're fucking wrestling's fucking fake and shit like
John
that.
Fuck
them.
Right. So there was that, and then you talked about how Hogan and McMahon wrote the movie pretty much, and that they were like locked in a hotel room for the weekend. And as these two guys said on their show, probably a lot of cocaine being passed around.
Who came up with the sex scene there, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sure Hogan was eager to have a chance at that. We knew his kind of jaded history
So
there.
do we think fucking McMahon and Hogan had to sleep in the same bed? And that's where they came up with that scene?
Oh, I think Vince could spring for the two kings. The two kings.
Shit, Vince is not the receiver there.
He just calls up the hookers who's just coming in. We said we were locked in the room, but we didn't say we weren't going to have hookers and blow. I mean, that goes without saying.
I don't think we can talk about Vince because, just another Friday nighter. What's his name? Albert.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get on and he's going to get mad. And why are y'all talking about WWE?
We got to get Albert will definitely be a part of that big wrestling show that we put together. Guys, we're probably right there right now. Guys, so you know how we do the format here. Every 30 minutes, we take a quick break. If you're joining us live on Facebook, we don't go anywhere. Stay here. We keep the conversation going. We read through the comments here from the Friday Nighters joining the conversation. But those of you listening to us on audio, you'll hear a quick commercial break in the first 30-minute break, and then after that, it's just a little blip of a noise you hear. But if you want to see the full uncut episode anytime, you can always go to youtube.com. It is not / Just Another Friday Night or JAFN podcast because we do not yet have 100 subscribers. So we're trying to get there. We're at 55. We're stalled out.
45 more.
So if you guys know people, again, I have encouraged you to take the phone from your wife, your wife's friends, your kids, and then hit the subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it. And then once we get to 100, we'll change that. But otherwise, just go search Just Another Friday Night. You get to hear this full conversation here and conversations prior with Joe and with Lucky. But guys, for those of you on audio, give us a quick second, and we will be right back. All right, guys. So this is what we do for our audio. This takes a moment for it to all load in there. Lucky, I'm sure you know this, right? When you're doing yours, does it do this?
No.
No? Okay, I don't know why ours does it. Lucky probably springs for the premium, all right? We're too damn cheap to pay for that here at Just Another Friday Night, all right? So,
well, I'm just going to say, guys, as a fan of Just Another Friday Night, it's badass to see it.
Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. Yeah,
behind
man.
the scenes.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
I think a long time ago,
How they make the movies.
Joe thought, he'd come on and be a guest one time and then have to wait weeks to be a guest again because you listen to a lot of shows. But instead, you took the advice of the show. When you want to do something, seize the day. You know what I mean? And Joe certainly did, and he reached out to Lucky, and now he has his own fucking show, and he never comes to our show anymore.
Yeah.
Bro, I am the king of the Friday Night faithful.
That is, I would say that too.
I'm there all the time. Anytime I can be there.
Behind the scenes video here.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we're on the Now Watch This TikTok. Watchers, what's going on? CM Chuck here in the house. You're seeing it happen here live. Go check out Now Watch This, and then check out Now Watch This on Just Another Friday Night. See?
Nice.
That's how
very
you
nice.
do it,
Welcome, guys. Sean
There's-
says that he can relate to Samoa Joe.
All right.
Samoa was a monster in the 2000s.
Definitely.
Well, dude, like I love Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
and
that
not
was-
only because there's a chant that says Joe's gonna kill you. I get happy about that, but
Mhm.
I mean Samoa Joe, man, he was the guy, and I wish the injuries didn't fuck him up so much in the WWE, but he's good.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Double A's who got me onto the series he had with Punk back in Ring of Honor, and it's amazing if you're a wrestling fan.
No, we talked about how iconic the leg drop was.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
Hell yeah.
what do you guys think? Like, what's the best finishing move, or who has the best finishing?
Oh, that's a tough question, but I do love
I
that.
think I've said Tombstone.
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 Yeah, because
Because
it's a power
it's a
driver on your
tombstone
neck.
into the
Yeah.
pin, eyes rolled back, tongue out.
I gotta say that one for me.
Just for Joe, I would say super kick party. Just super kick
Yeah.
after super kick after super kick. I mean, no, but I love the Stone Cold Stunner because it's one of the things I've heard wrestlers say that a move makes a move good is like if anybody any size can perform it on anybody any size. But again,
Yeah.
certain moves have to look effective. If you've got Shawn Michaels giving a kick to the chin of the Big Show, it's like no. That's not going to do shit. You know what I mean? But the stunner is kind of good because he kicks you in the gut first. You go down, and then he grabs your head and drops it onto his shoulder.
Yeah.
So I've always thought it was a pretty solid finisher. Also, Triple H is the pedigree because he pushes your head
And an
down.
awesome meme. I don't know if you've seen all those videos where if someone's tripping in the video, they put them in there.
But yeah, that RKO out of nowhere.
RKO.
Definitely, man.
That's for me. I like the RKO. I like the Diamond Cutter. But the Rock Bottom.
Rock bottom
For
was a
me.
big one.
Yeah, that was always a good move, man. There's a lot of moves that you didn't see because other guys did them, and it just didn't they weren't that big of a guy, but they had a great move, like Farouk with the Dominator.
Yeah.
He's literally got your head tucked under his arm, and he lifts you up by your trunks and then slams you forward. So it's like you're landing on your
And the
face and body.
F5 for me is good.
That's a good one, too,
Brock
especially if
Lesnar.
it's
Yeah.
done by Brock.
When
Oh, yeah.
when I create a wrestler for us video game fans, I do the F5.
Yeah, you got to get on there with Sean, man. He still plays 2K 2019. That's the last.
Oh, I'm not
wrestling
good in
game I
new
bought.
games. Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling him, I was like, I don't play because I don't know how to pin. So it's like I just can't win in that game. But I think it's your middle brother, Friday Night or Will, that always we talk about certain moves and we're like, I don't know, man. Is the leg drop still hurting people with hooking? And he'd be like, come on, man, he's crushing your larynx with his big thigh, his massive thigh. And I was like, oh yeah, that would be brutal. I'm like, that's a pretty effective move.
Sean says he's got to see a story about Dr. D, about how he messed up his career by slapping John Stalso.
Oh, that's the
Dark Side.
Dark Side of the
I've seen
Ring.
that. I've seen that. You seen that clip, Luck, where he slaps this guy that's
The
reporting?
guy
in the
asked him,
hallway?
he's like, it's wrestling fake, right? Everything you do is fake. He's like,
Is that fake?
oh.
Bitch.
And the
he slapped
first
him
shot,
again.
the cameraman kind of like
Yeah.
moves so you don't see it. But then the guy stands up quick and he slaps him again. This time in full. Like
Yeah, the other side this time.
you see Tombstone, you know how Wyatt Earp slapping Billy Bob Thornton? He slaps him like that, and it's like he just walks away, like he gets up and walks off. I'm like,
Now I gotta
you know
go
what
watch
that does to
fucking
you as a
Tombstone.
man? Like it's like
Okay.
dating must just been a fucking nightmare after that. I mean, like fuck. Like,
Sean said he's going to help us with YouTube. Awesome, Sean. And Steve has a more direct approach. Subscribe, fuckers. And,
Thank you, Steve.
Yes.
He says, "Damn it, you're good at that, Chuck. Quick promo, Chuck."
I appreciate it, Steve. Thank you.
Hey, he goes into that professional voice so quick.
Yeah, he does. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
it. We're keeping it fast and loose tonight, boys. We're going right back in to the recorded part of the show here with the Now Watch This podcast, fellas. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We're back here again. I know we didn't go anywhere. If you're with us on Facebook Live, we invite you to join us any Friday night that you're free and available and you want to come hang out. Come and join us here on Just Another Friday Night.
Well, we
Join
can't
the
take
live
free
conversation.
days on the show.
Yeah, see these guys, they
Pee
record their show. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they get to take pee breaks, and we're here left to hold.
We
it,
used to be
sadly.
able to. Yeah.
Back in the old days when we were just on audio, and then we got peer pressured and arm twisted into being onto the live, which does make it neat to get to interact. You know what I mean? So,
People wanted us to be WCW here.
exactly.
That's one of my favorite parts about your show is the interaction. The different talking with the Friday night.
Yeah, it's
people,
interesting.
everything
It
like
gets
that.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It takes you in different places.
it
Like,
really does.
You did the Twilight Zone episode, and then at the end of that, man, we kind of went off.
We did.
Yeah,
we
we
did.
definitely did. Speaking of going off, I stayed late for so a really great thing that Lucky does, as I would say produces the show. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Lucky produces the show. Again, we are here with Lucky and Joe of the Now Watch This podcast. And so he always does this thing after their outro. They have like actual like legit intro outro. So it sounds really badass. I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. Like I'm trying to like remember all those movies. But anyway, afterwards he does like an in credit scene, very Marvel of Lucky. So there's always a big conversation afterwards. And y'all's last one really went. You actually hear Lucky saying, "I'm gonna have to cut this out," and I'm like, "Oh, he left all that in," and it's about. Joe goes on about. Can I say this?
Yeah,
I know your wife's on,
No,
so he's talking about Paige's porn. That she
We're
got,
talking wrestling. It's relevant, bro.
coming on the female championship belt. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
wow, this.
No,
is-
I didn't even know he was fucking recording.
I was like,
and he's like, I'm recording this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
I mean, I think in that moment, Lucky was like, wait, I could become a wrestling fan. Hold on, tell me more, Joe. And Joe's like, yeah, I've got all the details. And she gets double
Where do I
teamed.
find
And
that
I'm
video?
like,
We were talking about our favorite wrestling videos, bro. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, I could see that. Have you guys been seeing the meme of it's supposed to be Booker T and Charmel, but it's just that famous dude that kind of looks like Booker with dreads, is a porn guy,
Oh,
and the porn chick just like they just like barely look anything like that. Everyone's like, oh look, Booker T and Charmel, y'all gotta watch this
I'm gonna
clip
tell my
of them
kids
wrestling.
so.
It's pretty good, man. It's good stuff. But yeah, so it's always great to stay after their end credits on their show and hear like kind of like you don't know Lucky's recording, I guess, because it's like I'm like, are you recording? It's like, there's a big. No, my segment is kind of small. There's a little one, but in one episode I didn't do it, and I was like waiting for it. And I was like, what's my?
Size doesn't always matter, bro. You're right.
You were trying to post stuff.
Oh yeah, I was TikToking.
Oh, damn.
You can also get Lucky on TikTok at what is it? Dork Dad Podcast?
Yeah.
At Dork Dad Podcast as well. And
Funny.
you guys are on TikTok as well. I didn't put is it TikTok the same as which one?
It's Now Watch This
It's
podcast.
the underscore one.
The underscore. Okay, so these guys are also on TikTok here at the same handle as their IG. So give them a follow on TikTok as well. It's fun. They do a lot of movie watching and they talk about movies. So let's get kind of back into what I was saying, guys, about movies like Field of Dreams, Renaissance Man. I believe we're all mid 30, early 40s guys. Am I correct?
Yes.
So we're pretty much kind of the same generation, you could say.
Gen X.
Yeah, I would say that. Gen X. I mean, some people would say that we're like early millennials, but I don't like that. So I like Gen X.
Fuck that.
Gen X sounds way cooler.
Shit.
Sounds like the X-Men. I can deal with that. But yeah, those are two movies that you guys. I think you guys specifically say it. It's like, who the fuck is doing podcasts about this right now?
Yeah.
So that's a risk, right? That could hurt your numbers. It could make it be like, no one's heard about that.
You know,
I mean, our numbers are 1 and 2, so
everybody knows those movies, but it's just
3.
You know, it's something different. Like, you know, you asked us if we did Justice League, you know, and we talked about it, but you know, I also said, you know, right now it just came out, everybody's doing that,
right?
You know, and
guilty again.
No,
sorry.
I just found out Rob Liefeld did it too. I was like, great.
It's not a bad thing.
It was on NPR, bro.
Yeah, I was like, great.
Other people's opinions, but I would like to do a mixture of both, you know, new movies and older movies, just to be different, just to be. But you don't want to be the same thing that everybody else is doing.
No, totally.
Yeah, I mean, the movies you guys pick it too is interesting. It's like you said, Renaissance Man, Mortal Kombat, Clerks, No Holds Barred. It's kind of like a different variety for everybody.
You know, as podcasters, we know everyone under the sun's got a podcast, right? And if you're talking about, well, what we kind of talk about, pop culture stuff, okay, how are we setting ourselves aside? I think that you guys did a great job by approaching the movies. I'd never seen Field of Dreams. I'd never seen it. Really? I watched it before I heard your episode because I didn't want it to get spoiled. So I watched it first. And I was like, this is a fucking fantastic movie. Now, Renaissance Man, I hadn't seen it in a very, very long time. I didn't rewatch it yet, but y'all's show had me wanting to rewatch it because I was like, damn, I remember seeing that movie, but I had forgot a lot of the stuff that y'all were saying in there. And I was like, oh, I need to go, recheck it out. You know what I mean? Because I forgot those parts, and that shit sounds like, you know, was as good as I remember it at one time, you know, we were liking it. So, but again, you know, Danny DeVito, like, you know, and I know if we see this happen to us sometimes when we do retro stuff, you know, like we did Twilight Zone, we start hashtagging those things, putting that on our social media, and we're getting like a little like influx of like people who are like, you got to think about it, there's nobody around our age talking about that stuff. Yeah. We talk about trying to find a niche and setting yourself aside as a podcast. Sometimes you got to maybe take that, like, oh, no one's going to be talking about this. I sometimes feel like I pressure Double A to do, like, let's do what everyone's talking about. Because I want to catch that fire, like, Snyder Cut. You know what I mean? Like, I forced him onto Invincible. I was like, let's watch Invincible.
Yeah,
we got to talk about Invincible.
I kind of struggle with Justice League. I saw the first hour, and I was like, fuck, I hate this.
Yeah.
And he had to sit. I remember
I wasn't big on the first hour, but when the second hour and the rest of it came, I was like, okay, cool. I didn't like the whole Lord of the Rings.
The slow motion.
You didn't like the Aquaman ladies singing club, the Aquaman choir that's fucking there.
I'm not sure in which reference to which part we're talking about, but we have this fan says, oh, so I don't know what you said. Maybe it was about your conversation post No Holds Barred.
It goes to show you that she didn't fucking listen to my episode. I should have cut it.
One of my favorite comments right here from tonight there. Subscribe, fuckers.
Yes. Get your kid's phone and subscribe. Just another Friday night.
Guys, but I think you guys are doing a great thing. It's a great podcast. I'm a fan. And, you know what I mean? Again, movies, that's right up my alley. You know, I love talking about movies. So getting to hear you guys kind of break it down. Now, let me ask you guys something. We're a podcast duo. I've only ever podcasted with other people. I've never podcasted solo. Only you've done that here, look. So what is it like for you to have a podcast partner? Do you feel like it's easier, harder? I'm sure it's maybe easier to have somebody to talk to when you're podcasting. But what about, like, is there, obviously, I'm going to hit y'all with the hard questions. I want to, I'm like these reporters we talked about. You know, I want to hear about the now watch this fights, the behind the scenes, when there's no, you know, not agreeing, when somebody wants to do Snyder Cut.
You know, when we have, I mean, the only fucking disagreement we have is like what taco rating to give it. It's like, no, that's not a beating cheese. It's, you know, it's a fight. But
go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, it's weird, bro, because it's like we start commenting on stuff. We're talking about stuff, and then like he's like, man, we should do Renaissance Man or something like that. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, like who? Like, I love that fucking movie.
I don't know if it's good or bad because we're pretty similar in our tastes, and kind of like you say, you always look for the good things in movies. Mm-hmm. I'm hardly ever gonna shit on a movie, even if I don't really like it. I'm not gonna be that hard on it. But
yeah, and in fact, like I said, when your No Holds Barred episode, it was almost like you were saying bad things about it, but you really liked those bad things about it. Like you were like, I like that it's so cheesy. Like it's so like you kept saying that, and I was like, yeah, he's right. It is, but it made it enjoyable in that sense.
Guys, when are you guys going to do an episode with TM again with Roadhouse?
No. Yeah.
That might be the only way you get me to watch it. Maybe is I have to go on and talk on the show.
We
about
might
it.
have to have a group, intervention because. And that's funny.
Are you
Are
on this pro Roadhouse train? Look, I need to
I mean,
know.
everyone is.
What the fuck?
Everyone is.
Get off my back.
There's a lot of movies I haven't seen, but you haven't seen Field of Dreams. You just barely saw that.
I know.
I owe it to y'all.
I think
Dude,
I
wow.
think Joe even said we can make a podcast of the movies that Chuck's never
Yeah,
seen.
Chuck's I'm
There's
guilty.
one.
That was my first, idea.
I don't know if I mentioned it on my show. I might have, but they might take my man card. I've never seen Die Hard.
Oh, damn!
Hey, you better think about that title, Joe. It might really be the
But ironically,
what has it Lucky and Chuck's
No,
name.
I'm just excited now to watch it with him because he's gonna be like, I'm gonna have to talk to you.
here's an ironic story though. I've seen Die Hard with a Vengeance.
3.
It's
That was a good one.
almost criminal, almost.
That was a good one.
I actually worked at the Galaxy when
We
Die
have
Hard
this
3
in common.
when Die Hard 3 came out, and me and my wife right now went on our very first dates to go see
Nice.
that movie.
Nice.
Nice.
So it was more about the date. You're like, I gotta get this date. I don't care that I've seen the prior two.
Whose idea was Die Hard?
Well, my wife
Have you
worked
seen
at the
part 2?
movies also.
Did you see 2?
No.
Oh, okay. So you jumped over 1 and 2.
Does she like our pod?
What?
Does she like our pod?
I don't even think she's listening.
Oh my god.
My wife, I don't.
No, but you were
That's a
gonna
different conversation.
you were gonna
you
say
said
she's
she worked.
seen them. She worked there too.
Yeah, she worked there too.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
where we met.
No
Nice.
kidding.
Very nice.
So that's like an odd thing we found out when I think I was on their show is that Lucky used to work at the Galaxy Movie Theater here in San Antonio, as did I at one time.
Yep.
That was my very first
Yep,
job at the
sure
Galaxy
did.
Movie Theater. And we were like kind of determining it might have been around the same time. That was my first job when I was
been on my way out, and you were coming in.
That might have been it. I might have been it. Later on, we'll talk off about the managers. So,
Oh, shit.
you know what? For a long time, that was my favorite job. Like, I mean, I loved it because
You're a
I
movie
was-
guy.
yeah, and they would literally tell us, "We don't close." You remember this? We don't close even for Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving because we're in the entertainment industry. They're like, so those of you that wanted to be in the entertainment industry, you made it. You're here now. So we work.
Wow.
I worked Christmas. I worked Thanksgiving,
What?
and I told Luck, I don't remember if we determined, but I worked there during my time there. That I worked there was maybe 7 months. Titanic was showing. It ran longer than my time working there did because it was still playing after I wasn't there. It was in the annex, like when I was like on my way out quitting or whatever. I think I went to Toys R Us after that.
Oh, yeah.
which
I
was
remember
not
that.
a great job.
Remember
Celine
that.
Dion was singing in the background.
Yeah, we'd be in there sweeping up that theater. Were you in concession or were you in?
I was all over. I was a supervisor.
Oh,
Damn.
He was the one
Well,
making you fucking
may,
sweet.
you may not want to have that conversation.
here we go. Now I know.
He's like, bro, I didn't like that guy.
Back in
Joseph,
the
right?
day, the supervisors made 15 more cents than everybody else.
Yeah.
I can remember. I tell people about this. I think minimum wage might have been around $4 back
Yeah.
then.
$4.25.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was $5.15
And oh wow,
Where's
and
that at?
at Peter Piper's.
Oh,
I
okay,
did
okay,
it. Yeah,
okay.
that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
for a month.
And I punched an actual time card.
Yes.
It went into the slide thing and it punched.
We
I
had
was
the
like,
cards.
yep, and you had all the cards like that. Like fucking, that's how old we are. People are like,
Bro,
what the fuck
yeah.
is that? So, yeah, man, that's a crazy thing we happen to have in common. But that shows a love for the movies, right? Like
Yeah.
I've always like, so
So are you guys going to be saving that for Christmas? Christmas episode?
Yeah, well, it is a Christmas episode. Like,
I think we're all in agreement.
yeah.
That's the debate, right?
No, it's
Well,
not
you gotta
debate.
see it to know, but I think so.
It is a Christmas movie.
I need Luck's opinion to know if this is across.
I don't want to spoil anything.
I agree as well. Yeah.
My 13-year-old son, shout out to AJ. He's my nerd at
Ah.
home.
Superstar.
He said. Well, he says that it's not a Christmas movie.
Oh, what the hell?
And I catch him going through my fucking notes, and he's like, "Bro, you're wrong here."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Bro,
He's got the red pin on Joe's
Wow.
notes there.
Yeah, he's going to a Christmas party.
he goes to Legacy, bro. I'm sure y'all kids probably
They
know.
probably
Yeah.
know each other.
That's like me with Gremlins. That's a Christmas story.
Yeah.
That's on my list of Christmas movies.
Even with the Suicide Story. Yeah.
She's dark. That's when I fell in love with Phoebe Cates. I was like,
Phoebe.
she just needs to be held at that moment. You know what I mean?
You know, and one thing about going to movies and you know, that's the one thing me and my wife did a lot. You know, even before we had kids, we didn't go out a lot. We went to fucking movies, and you know, I wasn't that fucking make out in the fucking theater guy. I'm like, I want to see this.
I was like, I want to see
it. And she was cool with that. I mean, you know, she was 8 months pregnant and stood in line for Lord of the Rings too.
Oh, you had to sit through that? That had to be way uncomfortable.
Don't get me started on that.
Oh,
maybe that's smart.
I still get comments about it, bro. But
it.
Again, you know, that's a good movie.
Yeah, I do like those movies. I mean, I'm not as much as other movies, but I like them, you know. So,
well,
all right.
You know, we're from the South Side, bro, so we're Michigan driving people too, as well. So,
yeah, man. I mean, you know, there's no more driving, so I mean, like,
there is no.
The New Braunfels one is.
I've been to a few. Yeah, I've been to a few.
It's not bad.
So when I lived in California,
they have one in
when my dad was stationed there,
Iowa one's nice.
I know. That's all they had though was a drive to see new movies. First run movies were only at the drive-through there in California, in that small town we were where the base was at. Because on base they had a movie theater, like 4 theaters, but it always showed like older stuff that was already on, like, you know, VHS. So yeah, my dad wasn't gonna go rent a movie that or go pay for a movie theater movie that we could rent. So to see new movies, we saw Batman '89 in the drive-through. That's when that came out. That was right before, because we came back to Texas in '93, and so I hooked back up with these guys, and we started hanging out, doing all the pop culture comic book shit that we're doing now. But man, no. So when it comes to what you guys are going to pick next, you have a really new, cool concept.
How does that work?
We got to talk about this concept that you guys are going to do. You haven't done it yet. You're going to try it out.
We haven't done it yet.
Can we show it? Can we show it?
Yeah, we usually have some idea. We kind of talk a little bit about, hey, you know, what do you want to do? It's still work in progress.
Turn around. There you go.
You see that right there, guys, on the back there. So we shamelessly plug ourselves. Yeah. And then
here's one on the inside.
There's the man. Yeah, I think there is. I saw that. I don't want to. Oh, wait, I got it. Hey, there it is. And the three-legged rabbit stickers are awesome, man. You got to give me something. There's luck. And then we're over there. See, there's our other one. Yeah. Very cool, man. I love this. Oh, if anyone has any donations to the sticker box, and there's Lucky again. There's a better shot of him in the shade of the sticker there. Anyone has any and three-legged rabbit, guys, where you can get T-shirts.
Three-legged rabbit
for us and for Now Watch Us. Any suggestions?
So yeah, the idea I had to get the watchers involved. Like I said, sometimes we have an idea of what we want to watch.
Yeah, I did comment on y'all's question though. Yeah, I forgot you guys posted that too.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
So I had the idea to get the watchers involved, or the listeners, as far as giving us suggestions to movies they want us to look at or what they want us to watch. So I figured I got this box from Hobby Lobby, started putting some stickers on it just to fancy that, but I'm going to put on here with my Cricut. I'm going to put some.
Okay.
I'm going to call it the Watch Box. So,
all right. Well, before this show's over, me and Double are going to try we're going to add our suggestions to the box.
Bro, you can't put Paige's video.
Oh, okay.
It's not a movie.
I think Luck might already be invested to watch that one. So let me know where you're going to watch.
You know, we've been talking about movies, but we also want to do TV shows.
Yeah. Okay. I was saying y'all have been strictly movies thus far, but I was going to ask you. There's
an episode of The Love Boat I want to watch, and so
get into that. All right. I'm down with that. Yeah. I bet no one's talking about The Love Boat. So, guys, Lucky's joking earlier, but really tonight, our initial idea was we were like, we wanted to have them on as a Father's Day episode, but they're busy closer to Father's Day, so it was going to be like our early Father's Day episode with the two dynamic duo of dad podcasting. And we were like, oh, Quiet Place 2 just came out. Let's do a Quiet Place 2. We all went. Me and Double A went like the first. When did you go, Joe?
Oh, what? Varsity.
Oh, okay. Oh. All right. So, there we go. Helping the movie industry return. Joe.
No, and I'm pissed. I'm pissed at myself, but I've been busy working so much, and then with baseball,
I know
is that I haven't been able to get out there, man. But A Quiet Place is a movie you want to see
It was
in a
great.
theater.
It was my return
For
to
that
theater. It was
theater
my return to
experience.
theater. Yeah, and we go to City Based Cinema. That's near us.
Yeah.
You're probably near Live Oak Theater, right? Okay, that's your near. That's
I
where you
love
go?
that theater.
I love that. That used to be my go-to theater.
Yeah.
It was closed.
Tan muy
Just-
fancy.
It just reopened. But,
When I lived in Converse, that was my theater.
we've been going to. It's funny, right across from the street from each other. They made an Evo right off 35, and then across the street is a new Santico.
Oh,
Cibolo.
that's right. Yeah, the
That's right.
Cibolo one.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're literally like.
You got choices out there now, man.
Right next to
Hey,
each other.
nice.
And those are nice. Those are real nice.
But you prefer Live Oak out of those?
I think the Santico, the Cibolo one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
I
So-
support City Base, bro, because for the longest time, man,
Yeah.
we were waiting for.
Oh,
something
I
to
know.
come
We
out
had
here,
we
right?
only
Dollar
had
Theater.
we only had the Mayan, which
Yeah.
they redid, but I mean, you know, it used to be Century South.
Yeah, if you want to get shot,
Yeah, we was like, man, do I really want to see this, new Dark Knight movie? I don't know.
fucking watch American Me there, bro. When I was like 10, I was like, God damn.
Everybody hitting lit for that, I bet. Then they
After
start-
higher learning, people fighting in there.
Then they decide they want to start serving beer. I'm like, no, not a good idea. Bad idea. Don't serve that shit down here. People come after the bar and go to the movies and then go back to the
Yeah.
bar after.
But in the southeast side, we know how to do it, bro. Fucking City Base does it right.
It's a really great spot, and they're local. They're like the guy. He's not
That's
part
right.
of a chain. He
That's
owns
right.
his own things, and he's got Mexican candy in there, barbacoa tacos.
Yeah, I was like, what the
It's an
hell?
experience. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
should
was
check
like,
it out.
wow.
And you get a comic shop in there.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
used to.
It's gone now. Yeah.
Hero said it wasn't financially good to be there anymore.
They made a good point. They were like, people come in and they drop a bunch at the movie theater. They don't have money to buy collectibles, so it's like asking your wife for too much.
Yeah.
Like, can we go see the new Endgame? And then I want a Thanos statue. She's like, are you fucking crazy? I gotta get a damn loan to go to the movie theater now.
Did y'all watch Endgame there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was
We were in the
badass.
same theater.
Yeah, we were in the same theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was lit, man. That shit was
Yeah,
that was so cool.
Check this out. When I went to see it in theater, right? I at City Base, I reserved my seat and everything like that. Me and the boys together, because we fucking saw every Marvel movie together, and they fucking tell me it's like, hey, this theater, the seat you bought, it's not in the theater, and I'm like,
Oh,
the fuck you mean? It's like it's the wrong fucking seat setting. I was like,
you see the boys. You mean your kids? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
my two
Not like
sons.
your boys. Okay.
yeah. And so it was 2 seats, and there was just an empty spot there, right? And I was like, you could bring me a fucking bucket. I'll fucking sit here and watch this movie. Luckily, they bought me a fucking office seat. And it was
No
good.
shit.
Yeah, but I was like, bro, I'm not fucking missing this
Wow.
fucking movie.
Holy
With
crap.
your kids, right? Like that's a cool experience.
Wow. Okay.
Something similar happened when that Black Panther came out. You know, that was a big deal when it first came out. And we couldn't get tickets, and then all of a sudden, we went through. We got to get tickets online. And we finally went. It was at the Galaxy. When we ended up watching
Which
that.
they redid also. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
But when we got there was a big uproar because supposedly there was some kind of error online where they double sold the theater.
Oh man.
And that's how we were able to get tickets because it was all set up. But they ended up, I don't know, I guess they linked them and they put us in another theater.
Okay.
They canceled it.
It worked out.
Canceled whatever other movie was there. And
I was
okay,
gonna
you guys-
say,
yeah.
man.
It was crazy how packed that one was. The one I went to was for sign language for deaf people.
Oh, nice. So
I was like, where's
y'all
your
had the-
subtitles? Yeah, I was like, where the fuck is it?
Oh, okay.
And then I saw people signing. I was like, holy shit.
The fire stick up
Yeah.
there?
Yeah. No,
I was like, holy shit.
who brought their coffee? Joe, is Joe up there in the projection room? Joe, we know you got that coffee, bro. Yeah, guys. So we were gonna do A Quiet Place too because we were like, I was gonna lean on the John Krasinski dad aspect, and then yesterday, Lucky hit me with this news, or was it today? I think it was yesterday, and he was like, I didn't get to see it yet, and I was like, what? I was like, oh, here we go.
Whoa. Yeah.
Back in the Twilight Zone, guys.
So Joe's my straight man. I was just gonna wing it and just kind of pretend. It's like, yeah, I remember that.
No, look, I was gonna do that
Yeah.
too, man. I was like, no, man, we gotta change it
Yeah.
if we're not gonna. You
So,
can see it.
That's
But then
my
it was-
fault. Everyone else.
No. It's totally fine. Well, now you guys can potentially do it on an episode when you do see it. It's open, and we could potentially do it on an episode since we saw it. But
I think I messed up because I thought it was on HBO Max because how they've been.
A lot of people thought.
a lot,
One
yeah,
of these things
our other
simultaneously.
cousin thought that too.
Yeah.
So that's my.
And
No, it's all
some
good.
of the things is too is we like to go into a movie, but we like to go into shit related to it before we get into the movie.
Right.
So
And y'all actually, so another kind of cool aspect about them, which I didn't know until I did the show, was that you watch along. You're literally watching along. But your show often goes longer than the movie itself. So
yeah.
Which
I don't know
is
if that's good or bad.
No, I think it's good. I mean, my sister's been telling us we need to shorten our episodes, which today should be the day.
No way.
But,
I'm the fan that's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's on there.
Oh, we got into those really our what was it? The 1 year episode? That was a fat 4.5 hours.
Yeah,
I'm
that was
like,
a long one.
I mean, it was about the greatest basketball players of all time, and we had his brother and his
We went
longtime
long,
friend.
yeah.
It was a long brutal one, and we were getting real tore up too. So that was also
And that's the great thing about your show, though, is that when you're online with you and you're live, you feel like you're a part. Like if you're commenting and talking with you guys, you feel like you're a part of the show. So it's good.
That's awesome, man. We appreciate that. Yeah. And again, it's cool that kind of, you listening to our show and liking it and going back and investigating Lucky's show and reaching out to him. You started your own show out of that. So tell us a little bit, guys, about you guys said you want to do shows. Are there other things that you guys want to watch? Are you serious about the Love Boat thing, or are you just ribbing us?
Nah, it's just fucking.
Okay, so as I'm saying,
not a rib, brother.
But are there things that maybe like that outside of the box that you've done with movies that are outside of the box, so to speak? You know what I mean? That you would do with shows? Are there things like that? I mean, we always joke. A lot of times we have field of reference for things because Double A likes a lot of like the Three Stooges, like old school shit, and I would watch a lot of Nick at Night.
Yeah.
So I would know shows that my dad watched when he was a kid. He'd be like, "How the fuck do you know Dobie Gillis?"
Yeah,
your sons? And I would say, "I watched Nick at Night." Yeah, exactly. He was like, "That was the shit I watched when I was a kid." So Double A for you was the same thing, Nick at Night, or just exposure to it. I know you're like some of us. Your parents are either close to your age or a little bit older. Your dad was a little bit older, so it's like, I don't know if those were really his type of shows too. But
no, Dad really didn't watch shows. He worked 6 days a week.
That's right.
So
As I said, you guys are all as
shit.
Stone Cold says, the working man. So when y'all are not working, you're dadding. So it's like,
Do you miss those old Nick and Night shows? Now Nick and Night is like Roseanne.
Right,
or
exactly.
Fran Drescher or some shit.
I mean, I used to listen to, and again, I don't know. I don't want to say I have like an old soul or anything like that, but it's like when I used to listen to Kono here in town when I was a kid, it would be like 50s
From
music.
the 50s,
Del
60s.
Shannon, Elvis.
They
Now
update
it's
to
like
70s.
like the shit from the 80s and 70s.
They
I'm
stopped
like,
playing all
this
that.
is not that.
Yeah.
This is not oldies to me.
No, you don't jam out at HEB, bro.
It's like it doesn't feel that old anymore.
They're starting to play stuff from the 90s.
It's like I think they brought up, when I was younger, the Wonder Years, right?
Yeah.
Remember that show?
Mm-hmm.
That show was set like 20 years back, and it seemed like it was really old.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
If you think about if they made that show now, they'd be in the 2000s. It's like,
Exactly.
that doesn't seem that old.
Yeah, we talk about how we can say, oh, that was 20 years ago. Pro Jam, the 10 album. We can remember probably all watching the Jeremy video over and over again on MTV, and it's like that was over 20 years ago already. Like that came out when I was old enough to know what a CD was and buy a CD myself. Like I want this CD. Like I was 10 or 11 when it came out. I'm like, fuck, you know what I mean? So
if you guys do a TV episode, what would you guys do? Like one episode? Just watch along, a 30-minute, an hour episode?
I mean, we can.
How would that work?
My initial thought was like a series. Like if we do Loki, I mean, after the whole series is over, then talk about it. Kind of like you guys did with Invincible, right? You talk about the whole thing.
Because it's one thing that, I mean, we did kind of adopt the kind of watch along kind of thing, but I don't think we have to. It's like, because we talk about like a lot of different stuff. Now, it's fun to do that and have that in the background. But, one of the big things is like, if we talk about The Walking Dead, we're not going to sit there and talk about
there's no way.
It's hard, right?
Yeah.
But you could pull out a single episode that maybe you both enjoy or debate about, because we've done that with a few. That
with
was
the
with the
Negan
episode, which I know you guys are both formerly Walking Dead fans that we have lost, no longer walking with us.
I haven't caught any of this current.
The really cool thing about these last 6 that came out in this season was that they were meant to be standalones, like a character kind of profile. So that's why the Negan one is what it is. You can watch it by itself without seeing what was going on. But I know I've heard some of your takeaways. There's a lot of interesting things I think that happened for someone that was a fan. If you could potentially give it another chance, you would see like, oh, okay, they're doing this, like they're working towards something. And still, it's not
where
like
the fuck is Rick Grimes at, man? Like, I mean, we were promised a movie.
Filming Georgia.
Yeah.
We were promised a fucking movie.
I was gonna say we have been promised that movie, and I think that they're going to hopefully get back to that in this last season. Now they're going to finally wrap it up. But would y'all do Fear? Would y'all watch the other ones? The side?
The Fear of the Walking Dead. I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Liked it.
I liked it.
I liked it.
I haven't. Again, I haven't seen that latest season, but I was into it.
Okay. I watched the first season, but then I couldn't stay with it. I felt like not as invested in the characters. Or maybe I felt like, which I know that you have to commit to those kind of shows like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't feel the need to connect with them, so I just stopped or whatever. But I mean, I heard good things. Now they brought in some of the regular Walking Dead people there.
Yeah.
So, but pretty damn cool, guys. We're right up again on our next 30-minute break. So I didn't see any comments in the queue, so let's just take a quick break. We'll let this audio load in, and then we're going to continue the conversation here with Lucky and Joe of the Now Watch This with Lucky and Joe podcast. So it's not just Now Watch This; it's Now Watch This with Lucky and Joe. Yeah. The whole name. You got to get it all in.
We got it.
Joe and Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Joe and Joe. The Dork Daddies. There's
Yeah.
many ways to go with that.
That's for Nene.
All right, guys. We'll be right back in a quick blip. For those of you that are still here with us live, we didn't go anywhere. We're here hanging out with you guys. Lux drinking Topo Chico. I'm having a Beck's Near beer, which actually it tastes quite a bit like beer. So, you know.
Joe,
It works.
concerts, man. They've been coming alive. You
Bro.
been to any of them?
I already got my Korn tickets.
Okay.
And I got my Deftones tickets,
All right.
of course. Deftones, for me,
I
my
gotta see
favorite
them.
fucking band. Look,
I gotta see them.
I got one there.
Nice.
One there.
no kidding.
Nice. Show that one off.
Is that the owl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check that one out.
Well, that
At
ain't because
Highlands.
me and Double A went to Highlands, bro. So, you know. And then I got a little pony on my back that I don't want to talk about.
That's, I was going to say My Little.
You're a brony?
No. It's a Deftones fucking pony. But yeah,
Okay.
like,
So
dude,
And that's why you're the Robin, Joe. See?
oh yeah.
okay, so you got Korn coming up. You got Deftones.
And that's what I'm telling you. Gojira's coming with Deftones, bro.
I got
so,
to see him in 2019
Yeah,
for Slipknot. They were
Def-
opening for that.
yeah. Deftones. I mean, one of the things me and my wife do.
She said, "Show your tramp stamp."
Oh,
From the lovely
oh.
tonight, she's a Friday Nighter and a member of the Friday
I
Night
know.
Family. Jennifer Martinez says, "Show your tramp stamp."
Damn.
Nah,
There you go.
And it's up here. So. Damn it.
Love it.
But yeah, I mean, one of the things we do is we go to movies, we go to concerts, and Deftones we've seen fucking in the 20s, bro. Like that's our
Holy
favorite
shit.
fucking
You
band.
seen a band that many times?
No.
Yeah.
Closest I've seen
What?
6 with Iron Maiden.
I think Cody's maybe 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I caught them live once.
You did?
They're pretty badass. Yeah.
The last one that they came with.
I don't know, but I
Last
remember my first thought was, I was like, wow, these guys are fucking old. Like, I didn't realize it. I was like, I saw Everclear when they were like old, and I was like, oh, I'm not the same. I was like,
you got In This Moment, right? Coming out for you.
Yeah, that's gonna be my return to concert probably in this one. No, I'll see the Dead South first of the same month in September.
Okay.
Nothing else has really like made me want to go buy a
Judas
ticket.
Priest. I'm gonna be seeing them
hell
in
yeah.
October.
Oh, and then Black Label Society. Zach Wild.
That's right.
But it's like Judas Priest in San Antonio was classic.
Another
Yeah.
River City.
Yeah,
Rock
they
Fest.
always come.
Did they say?
No,
I haven't heard anything. They would have. I would have thought they would have been announcing it already.
Do you go still? Look, you and the wife do that, or that's not something
That's
like,
brutal, ain't it?
It's
me
hard,
and
though.
me and my son.
Okay.
I think the last one was when they had Godsmack there.
So he rocks at your stuff, or does he take you to his stuff? You make you go to like?
Well, he likes what I like.
Okay. How about you?
Yeah.
Your sons, they got like, well, we want to go see, I can't even think of anyone that kids are
Stain?
listening to.
No, that's
like,
ours.
Kid,
Ours,
yeah,
yeah.
like,
Again, it's like what's playing on Kiss
There
now
is nothing.
20 years
Yeah.
old.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean,
Kiss is now classic rock.
Yeah, kids don't listen to the
I
radio
feel like they
anymore.
only have like 10 albums at that radio station.
Kids,
Anyway.
like,
kids
Lord,
listen to things like 20 seconds or less.
Yeah, they
Is it a
listen
TikTok?
to some music that I don't know, bro. I feel old. So
Well, we talked about, like, I always tell when my girlfriend gets into a song, I'm like, oh, I heard that. It's either I heard it on TikTok or heard it on Fortnite. Like,
Damn.
Fortnite has
What the hell?
the new Bruno Mars song. They have a clip. They only do a clip, like you guys were saying about what the song about. They have that Lizzo song
Holy
on
shit.
there, and the little characters do like a little dance to it or whatever. So
All
I'm
right.
always like, I know that song. That's the one when the guy that shot me in the face. Now he's dancing to Lizzo.
yeah, it's just like if you watch Scrubs, they know the Scrubs guy because he does the fucking Fortnite dance. They're like, he's doing the Fortnite dance.
Oh,
I'm like,
shit.
no, that's the fucking Scrubs dance.
Or I see on there too, they have the Conan O'Brien, the hips, Conan O'Brien. That's on Fortnite.
Really?
I'm like, yeah, the Rick Astley's on there. You can do the.
Never gonna give
Never
you
gonna
up.
give you. My nephew's talking about Rick Rolled. I'm like, that's an old song, right?
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Talking about concerts, what was your first concert?
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden?
Wow.
Oh, here we go.
Motorhead and Dio opened up for them.
Steve says, anyone seeing The Crew on the 24th?
Yeah, next
I want to
year.
go
Next year.
and see
Yeah.
them.
Man, I hope Vince Neil gets in fucking shape, man.
Yeah.
That dude's looking
I saw
terrible.
a video of him, bro.
Yeah,
like,
he lost his voice.
Yeah.
And he looks fat still. Supposedly they hired him a trainer.
Yeah.
So he can be ready for the fucking concert since they're headlining.
Yeah.
And man, he's not taking that shit.
Steve,
serious.
are you going? Are you going to check out The Crew? I would like to go see them.
I
man.
saw
Let me
Joan
know.
Jett was going to be here in a Lotus, but it's like $40.
And
Like,
then
stand here remotely. I was like, I
Stevie
don't
Nicks
know.
is going to do, what's the big one in Austin?
Oh,
that's right. The
Austin
Austin
City
City
Limits?
Yeah. I would go to see her.
Really?
I think she's.
No, I
badass,
like her.
but,
I like her
you know.
too.
But I'd rather her come to Santana.
Yeah.
y'all got bands that y'all love that y'all haven't seen yet or never got to see?
They're dead.
Queen.
They would be dead. Yeah, Queen, Nirvana. What do you
Nirvana.
know?
Soundgarden.
Well, that's that we Pro Jam is one that we have not seen.
I have
that
not
we would
seen
love
because the
to
last
see
time
them.
it came was like in 03.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
saw when he came by himself, but it wasn't.
I saw mine right before COVID.
Who?
Which was Tenacious D
Oh,
shit.
I forget.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jack Black.
Nice.
Where'd they play?
in Austin.
Where'd you? But Stubbs.
They probably did a festival.
No,
No?
it was just them.
But at Stubbs or at the?
Yeah, I think it was Stubbs.
Stubbs?
Oh shit! Nice.
Pretty
Nice.
cool. Good set.
Yeah,
They tore it up.
they did the Apocalypto CD.
Okay.
Sweet.
I love
And
the
then
soundtrack
another
from the
favorite.
movie. The soundtrack from the movie is like all the songs I think are good in that one. So that's pretty badass. Dave Grohl is a devil.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just drumming away.
I saw they come out with Weezer a few times.
Oh shit!
I saw
Okay.
Weezer live in
That's our thing.
I've
Yeah.
seen them. I've seen them in Austin.
and it was amazing.
1997.
Were they badass?
Yes.
See, I saw when they were a little bit older, and they were badass.
Yeah.
Like he put on a good show. That
It was so
Como or
cool.
whatever.
It was that little place called Liberty Lunch in Austin, and it was kind of weird because like they were playing, like they were like had like different hats and like it was almost like they were changing as they were playing. It was kind of the whole thing. It was kind of cool.
In Plano, it was a festival. It was I can't remember, Buzzfest, I think is what it was called. I would go to festivals with these guys and his brothers. They go to festivals
almost like
a certain way.
Ozfest.
They
That was
go
the
like
other one.
get the end part though. I don't think y'all ever do the whole festival.
No, because I'm not there to see those. Fucking
Right.
bands.
So when I went to Plano with Friday Night Albert and my sister, they went with we were in Plano for the whole festival. I'd never been to a whole like 11 to
And it's hot in the Texas heat.
yeah.
Oh, fuck
And
that.
the headliner, the last band was Jane's Addiction. We left. It was after Weezer. We were all like beyond beat. So I didn't get to see Jane's Addiction even though I paid for it.
Oh,
But I got
damn.
to see Social D, Weezer, Flogging Molly, Neon Trees, Sick Puppies. We saw like a bunch of bands, and we were like lasting, but at that very end part, it was like
It's brutal.
we were done.
Fucking brutal.
But Weezer was badass, and there were fucking like chicks on shoulders flashing. Like it was
Damn.
like I was like, these guys are over like a motherfucker. Like I was like,
What's the
right
festival
on.
Linkin Park used to do?
Fuck, I don't even know, man.
I didn't even know they did one.
You know what?
Yeah.
That would have been on the list because they were like right before,
Not for me.
right when they.
No, let me tell you.
Did you see
So-
Soundgarden?
No, I never saw.
That's it.
I was bad about the Lord of the Rings, making my wife go stand in line to see that. In 2004, my wife was going to be induced on a Monday, and Korn was here on a
Oh,
Sunday
Oh.
in the Linkin Park Festival.
Damn.
Okay. So yeah, we were there.
Damn.
But
Man,
we're
that's
big,
a trooper.
we're big Korn fans. So
You guys ever do the Family Values?
Yeah. It was one of those kind of shows.
Okay.
But it was Snoop Dogg, Korn, and then Linkin Park. Right after Korn, we left because ain't fucking watching Linkin Park go on after Korn, bro. Fuck that.
Wow. I mean, now you can't see them.
No, fuck that. Okay.
I saw Snoop downtown at Tucker's what was it called? One of those little
He's coming. pretty soon.
the DJ show because I heard he did that DJ show. I saw when he performed, like he did, like it was his songs or whatever, and he brings out these like mask guys dressed like they're like masked up. One's like a dick and one's like a joint, and they're like up on stage with him, whatever, while he does like the doggy style songs.
You know what? Chili Peppers. I've never seen them.
Yeah,
Ooh,
That's a
yeah.
band that I want to see at
I
least
had
one
a
time.
chance to see him.
I saw them at AT&T, guys. If you
I
get
miss
a
them at
chance
Verizon.
me and my sister always tells the story is that she didn't know it, but she was pregnant at the time. We saw the Chili Peppers at AT&T, and that was one of the most. You guys know I'm a crier, so like
keeping credit
at parties, the band is the music, like the whole audience is vibing it so much that like you're like damn, like you feel kind of like overwhelmed or whatever. So it was like that was an excellent
That's
show.
cool.
I would go see them again. The time
Especially
after
with John. Now they're back with John again.
Yeah, and the time after that they came, it was like the tickets went way up. So it was like I didn't go that time or whatever. Steve says Jet is playing at Flores Country Store on the second. Joan Jet?
John Jet,
Flores?
she's coming in Helotes, and like I said, it's $40 for a standing room, and then it's like it goes up for like VIP.
Have you seen a show there?
No, I
It's
haven't. But I've been.
super
It's a country place, right?
Yeah, I saw some.
I think Aaron Lewis was there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Without saying where we work, even though Joe said it.
Joe, don't say that, Joe.
For our 10th anniversary, she actually performed at our Christmas.
Oh wait,
Christmas
we
party.
don't fucking He works for the big place.
Oh,
I work for one of the
She
little
performed
places
at
on the
Tony's
side.
ship at
Really?
USA.
Oh, is that right? Very
Yeah.
nice. How was it?
It was nice.
She was good.
Well, she don't care about her bad reputation.
There you go. Ronda Rousey reference there.
Anyone seen Andrew Dice Clay? He's
Yeah.
coming.
Really?
Yeah. You posted it up, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we talked about.
Dude, I would
Like-
love
like
to see. Y'all
doing
should
a
watch comedy.
live.
Where's he
Yeah.
going to be at?
Ooh, Ford Fairlane.
At AT&T.
Shit.
Yeah, so he's going
Oh,
like.
wow.
He thinks
Ford Fairlane.
he's got stated. Oh, that's
Ed O'Neill? Oh, yeah.
I mean, in the 80s, people was selling out Madison Square
Madison
Garden.
Square
bro, so
Garden.
it's good.
I would like to see that.
Well,
again
right,
once.
but that was that Dice at that time selling out MSG. This
I would like
Dice
just
in
to, like,
this
see him.
culture.
I would like to see
Oh, I
him.
would go. I would definitely go. We saw what tickets for 92.
92? That's not bad.
I'd pay
Wonder-
that.
That's not
I
bad.
mean,
People will still
I'm
like
still
it.
laughing
It'd have
at
to be
Hickory
older.
Dickory Dock.
It'd have to be an older crowd.
It would have to be an older crowd, a surly crowd.
No
Some of
millennials.
this
That's what it
stuff-
should say. No
This stuff is
millennials.
Not PC.
And you know what's so
Fuck
funny?
no.
I was telling Double A this, right? Let's get back into the recorded part
Oh,
of the
he'd
show,
definitely
guys.
be canceled today, bro.
Yeah. Him and Eddie Murphy. Yeah,
Yeah.
those guys wouldn't make it.
People forget about that shit, bro.
Guys, we're talking concerts right now. We got into the conversation during the break. If you want to see the uncut conversation, go check us out on
There.
YouTube.com. Steve dropping some good knowledge on Joan Jett being over at Flores and Hello.
I have to see her once, too. That's another
It's funny that you guys stopped talking. And I was like, no, keep talking.
And she does some runaway stuff, bro.
Oh, man.
I was
Oh,
interested
yeah.
in what you were doing.
Yeah. It's the podcast here.
How the magic is made.
Look, but yeah, so we talked about, guys, we've gotten to concert, so we're saying that we heard that Andrew Dice Clay is coming to AT&T, and is that
That's crazy.
really
AT&T.
for number one, could he sell out that big venue? But
I
what
don't know.
what I was telling Double A, and I don't know if you guys have had a chance to hear this, there's a podcast called Comic Gold Mines, Kevin Hart, and he's got great guests: Seinfeld, Sarah Silverman, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, the Who's Who. I think he just had on like Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans talked about how they lost the Scary Movies.
Yeah. I heard that.
Oh,
So
wow. So they didn't give it away. They lost it.
No, they
got taken away.
Oh,
Yeah, I got taken
Shit.
away, so that sucks. But
wonder
I haven't heard that
it's on
episode
Sunday.
yet. But he's got some great comedians, and he wants to get into the mind of comedians. And I was telling Double A, I said, "Here's this guy that is the name probably in comedy, right there alongside Chappelle, and then you've got him having guests that are of that caliber. This guy does a tight 45, 47 minutes.
Yeah.
And here we are at 3 hours a piece for our shows. Like, we think people are going to sit around and listen to us for 3 hours long.
That's probably edited.
And dude, and it's cut, and they have fucking intro, outro,
And
everything
the
like
green
that.
room.
And he probably has a producer.
No, he has a producer, yeah. So
So is it kind of similar to Jerry Seinfeld's show?
In fact, Jerry's his
That's right,
first
right.
guest, and
Yeah.
he pretty much says that comedians in cars inspired that. Now, that one, you can tell it's edited. Like, it looks like they're talking all day. But
Yeah.
Jerry said they actually sometimes just do it in a few hours. He's
Yeah.
like, no, we hung out for like 3 hours that day or whatever.
I
Now,
like
obviously,
that.
but his shows are the comedians in cars is only 15 minutes. an
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
20, 25 if it's a long one. But a fantastic show. I've seen that whole series. I go back to that all
Yeah,
the
you're a
time.
big
to
Seinfeld
rewatch it.
fan. Yeah.
But man, the conversations are so good.
Yeah.
You would love it. He has Obama on.
Yeah, I
you know
remember
what I
that
mean?
one. It made a lot of news.
Is he? I think he does Christoph Waltz.
There's some Waltz
Yeah,
too.
he does some good people. Joe Rogan, not Joe Rogan. Seth Rogen. He's got all the comedy people.
Seth Rogen.
When he does the real like legends, you see Jerry gives him a lot of props. And I mean,
you see the fan come out a little bit.
yeah, which is cool for him because he's very fucking kind of dickish, you know, very Letterman-ish.
Ever go to the comedy club here to see anybody?
I think he has. I haven't. My wife has seen a few people.
Yeah, I put up a picture recently where I saw Dave Coulier.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh man,
so
cut it out.
He was exactly. He was actually really funny. His stand-up was really funny. And he talked. He wasn't at all like how we've all heard how Bob Saget is.
Yeah.
On comedy.
Oh, it's fucking.
It's great. It's great. His is not like that. It's very it's toned down, but it's still very funny though. It's good, clean comedy. And I saw Mick Foley's talking show, or whatever, and he did.
I missed that one with you. Yeah,
which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
I think that's how I got into podcasts. Is like kind of listening to stuff like that because I used to at a job where you listen to music all day, and that shit gets old. So
right,
you know,
right.
Henry Rollins, he has like a talking
spoken.
CD. Yeah, a spoken word CD.
Yeah.
And I got into that, and I just kind of wanted to keep getting into stuff like that, and that's when I got into Kevin Smith. And while Kevin Smith does a lot of stuff where it's, you know, for yucks and stuff like that, you know, it's funny stuff. He started doing like interviews with people, and it had to do with Batman. So of course I'm gonna be into it.
You're a Joe Rogan fan, right? See him?
Yeah, I like Joe
Huge
Rogan. You know, I was not a fan of Joe Rogan, not Fear Factor, not on the show he was on. And I was always like, man, this guy's a stand-up. And I caught some of his stand-up, and I wasn't a big fan of it. And I'm still not a big fan of his stand-up. But the man is an incredible podcaster.
Yeah.
Look, you were going to say something about comedy. What were you going to?
Well, you bring up Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he killed one of my favorite comedians at the time.
Mencia, bro.
So
yeah,
I was gonna say, you know, I like to go to the comedy club. I've seen Mencia quite a few times before, you know, he got busted. But
Milli Vanilli in the comedy.
What did you get busted for?
Well,
he got called out for stealing jokes.
Oh, the Lopez
material.
Oh, Joe Rogan stuff.
No,
Joe Rogan called him out.
Oh,
he caught up Mencia on stealing. It was other guys that did like. So
really?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Apparently, there's like these like
That's
tight.
why
Go ahead.
Mencia is kind of like.
Yeah, that killed his
wow.
pretty much career.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So apparently there's like you can be like big in comedy like locally or whatever. It's just like, you know, you're in the local scene.
Yeah.
Like, I guess even like they have them around here because I know a few local comics, but they're not like national acts. They just do like the touring around here where there's clubs, you know, LOL or the one downtown, River Center Comedy Club.
Yeah.
So you can have so apparently Mencia, a bigger guy, was going to like the famous comedy store.
Really?
And then he'd sit in the back or whatever, and then he would just like tweak it a little bit enough. But it was like Joe Rogan gets on stage. You can look it on YouTube, and he calls him out. He's like, blah blah. This guy's been doing this joke for whatever, and he's telling him, and it's like, holy shit!
Yeah,
like,
you got to look it up on YouTube.
And he tried to defend himself, but it was like not. And that was pretty much it. Yeah, this is like right after Mind of Mencia.
Yeah, this was when he was big with the shit and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then that was just like, oh damn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was never a big fan.
I've been going to comedy shows for a while. I remember seeing George Lopez at the River Center one.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
Before he was big.
Before he was big,
wow.
It wasn't even a full crowd in there.
Holy
so
shit!
That
is
now
insane,
he sells
man.
AT&T.
AT&T.
Yeah.
Well, you get Eva Longoria to
special
open
was here, right?
Yeah, Eva Longoria did the intro. Did you see Fluffy? I'm sure you've seen him.
Yes.
Oh, you did. Nice.
I've seen him a few times, and he's actually one of my favorite shows I went to. If you sign up, you know, for LOL and newsletters or whatever, I got an email one time. This is a few years ago, saying, "Oh, Fluffy's gonna be here one day only, one show. We're gonna do one show." So I was like, "Oh man, we got to go! Right? It's gonna be at LOL." I like it when it's intimate. I mean, people like the big AT&T Center, but I like it when it's more intimate.
No, that actually is what comedians say they prefer because that's the better crowds in that tight environment.
I say it's the best show that I've seen because he wasn't out there to do an act. I mean, he was doing some routines, but he came out and said, you know, hey, I'm going to try out some new material. But most of the night, he was just talking to the crowd, just like,
that's cool.
Just talking normally, and it was one of the best times.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, that's what they say when I listen to so many of these comedians on their podcast talking about it. You know, Joe Rogan's, or, you know, like I said, this Kevin Hart one, or even all the conversations and comedians in cars, is that, you know, like you got to work your material out, right? So you do the club scene and you just try stuff out, see if it works or it doesn't, or how you can tweak it. And one of the guys that, you know, has been on Comedians in Cars, and he was recently on Kevin Hart's also, is Eddie Murphy. He kind of talks about that. Everyone wants that big comeback to comedy, but he's like, where can I go and work out? He goes, you get to a point where it's like, you're so big that people are like, you're getting.
Because I mean, can you imagine him at a comedy club?
No,
And
he goes. There gets to be a point. He goes. I remember one time he goes. I walked out on stage and people started laughing right away. I hadn't said anything yet, and he's like, I don't know what's hitting or what's working or not because there's nowhere for me to work out. And he goes, you have to work out comedy. But they did say something interesting because we're talking about Andrew Dice Clay coming to the AT&T Center. One of the things they said is that they said Kevin Hart said this and Steve Harvey agreed with him, and he's mentioned it with other comedians. He's like, comedy has like a time date. Like it's like you can't you don't go do your greatest hits like a band. It's like, you know what I mean? But Clay does do that. Andrew Dice Clay, like the nursery rhymes.
That shit's timeless.
We know that it's timeless. Like I'm like, man, I wonder if there's something to that. But I mean, for the most part, you know, there's a great scene in Comedians in Cars where he has Martin Short on. And he's telling Martin Short's telling Jerry, he's like, yeah, you know, him and Steve Martin were doing that touring show. It came here. I mean, I wish I would have got to catch it. Him and Steve Martin were doing like a two-man show.
Martin Short and Martin Short,
right?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I you know, what a duo would have been to catch. You know what I mean? Two of the three amigos.
All you need is Chevy Chase.
Yeah, and they said, yeah, he was telling Martin Short, we do this bit in our set at towards the end where we redo great comedic acts or whatever. We do like famous bits from other comedians. And Jerry's like, oh, do you do me? And then he goes, do you have a bit that's famous like that? And he's like, no. And he goes, no, then that's why we go do you. And it's like, it's pretty great. It's pretty on point. Man. You know, like, I mean, here you have, you know, Jerry, you know, it's kind of considered the man. And it's like, you have, you know, Martin Short's like, no, like, you're not that good. You know what I mean? Because that is true. Like that is such a fucking dynamic. I say this in my opinion. The two hardest performing arts in the world, in my opinion, are number one, professional wrestling, because it involves your body
and live,
you know, and and your live and your acting, and it's your body and your physicality and your timing has to be impeccable. Yeah. And, you know, and number two, right after that, to me, is stand-up comedy. I've tried stand-up comedy before at open mic. And it's fucking hard. Yeah. So, and you might be like, I remember it, I wrote it down, or you can even use your notebook. I mean, it's open mic.
I think funny people, Seth Rogen said it was pretty damn hard for him to go out. Yeah. Because they actually did go out. Him, Jonah, and Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
They all went out. And I think Seth Rogen's like, man, it's really fucking hard.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, in that moment, it's like the crowd will eat you alive. Like, it's like, and many comedians said, comedy club crowds are like dogs. They smell fear. It's like if you're not up there and you're not confident, it's like they're gonna fucking, you know, they're gonna tear you up, they'll boo you, they'll heckle you and all that shit or whatever. I mean, like, again, I didn't have that experience, but I only did it maybe 2 times, and I was like, this is a lot harder than I thought.
With Juan, right?
Yeah, I tried it with Friday Night at Juan, aka Jay Dollars, and he's tried it a couple of times too, many more times than I have, and it's like, and he knows more probably better than you know, anyone that hasn't done it. It's like, you know, it's fucking hard. And he had material like worked out and he'd work it out with me and I'd be like, dude, it's going to kill whatever, but it's just different when you're up there. He did open mic at LOL. I was never that brave. I did it like in bars or whatever.
It's hard to try to be funny, right? Like to be funny on the spot. Like you could say some funny shit, but if you're like, all right, tell a joke, it's like, oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely.
Going back to your wrestling spot, you know, do you think that's why like we talked about it in our podcast last week, you know, these wrestlers like The Rock are the biggest fucking star out there right now. Mm-hmm. John Cena's doing movies. Bautista's doing movies. Mm-hmm. You know, these guys that come up and have to do this shit that's on the spot and you know, act out these things. You know, you got to be spontaneous and you know, be funny sometimes. Yeah. You know, and then they come out and they're like the biggest stars out there is like born in wrestling.
Yeah, The Rock was made for that.
But look at him though. When he went back, it was hard for him to get back the wrestling vibe, the live. I mean, Cena famously called him out about having the notes written on him. Here's a guy that could cut a promo on you off the top of it and make you fucking look like minuscule. Trash. You know what I mean? Look like trash. Yeah. Tear you up, you know, verbally, and then it's like, man. You know,
when he came back, it was Dwayne Johnson.
Right. Yeah. It was not The Rock. It was Dwayne Johnson. And you had a guy, Cena. Y'all talked about him on the last episode too, just tearing it up. I mean, he was like, Cena is. I don't know about now because now he's gone Hollywood, but in that moment, he was that guy where he turned the table on The Rock. I was like, damn, man, Cena did a really great job in that moment. Comments coming in. Here's a fellow we all know and owe a lot of this too, including this microphone in front of me. Aaron B. in the house says, what's up, boys? Hey, he says, I remember when Joe Rogan told Mencia off. He says, stand-up is hard.
Aaron tried it? Aaron, you tried it?
I believe Aaron has tried stand-up, I believe. Yeah, okay. And his brother Charlie as well. Gabe Flores now says, what's going on here? Gabe, we talked about you earlier and your impressive work. That's the crowd there.
I like the fun.
And the stand-up comedy continues to fail.
But
So, yeah, Gabe, doing a little show here for you, brother, with our friends Lucky and Joe of the Now Watch This podcast. If you like movies, you should go check them out. Gabe, they do a great show. And Lucky has some great books that he would probably need to get pressed before he sends them off to get graded. So maybe you guys can hook up on that note there. And if you have any suggestions for a movie you want these guys to watch, not pornography, gentlemen, please, let them know. And that, Debbie Does Dallas is a classic. You know what I mean? If you ever haven't seen it.
Yeah, they actually do have storylines.
If we have to watch it for the pod, we will.
If you have to for the pod. I can just see, Lucky's studio has a glass door. I can just see his wife going by with a laundry basket looking like, what the fuck are you in?
Whatever goes in the wash box, you never know what will come out.
You never know, guys. I can't wait to y'all start doing that. That's going to be great. I think that's a really interesting
awesome.
aspect to add in, for sure.
And I try to watch it a couple times just to, take notes and stuff,
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm sure your wife will want
Is the wife still on here? Let's get her back in here.
Educational purposes.
Yeah.
Guys, so make sure you guys go check these guys out. Again, Now Watch This, Lucky and Joe. And give them a follow on their Instagram and on their Twitter. And join their Facebook group. And if you want merch, you got to go to 3-Legged Rabbit right there, guys. Guys, so what's coming up next? Y'all been talking about horror. Been hearing you guys say that. But
we're talking about horrors, bro.
I always keep mishearing. This is what you got to deal with all the time.
That's the one gets cut out.
or
doesn't.
Stay for the end credits. Yeah, come for the show, but stay for the end credits. I'll tell you guys. Here we go. And of course, Aaron B wants to know.
Yes, of course.
So
I think he wants to be on that one.
You guys got to get Aaron B on the show for sure. So
the best robot I've ever seen in person.
That's right. I forgot that. Hanging out after hours.
Bro.
We all hung out.
He was cutting a bro.
Yeah. I was out with Aaron B. I was messed up, and I let Joe know, come out and hang out with us. And Joe showed up. I was like, what a fucking guy. This is before he had a podcast. Before he had a reputation to protect. Now he's got it. Now you don't see him anymore. So
Gabe's got a suggestion. The Last Dragon.
Very nice.
Oh,
I've seen this one. Very good, very good. And Aaron,
who is the master?
Show enough.
Yeah.
Were we all in a conversation about if they were to do a remake of that movie, who would you cast as Show enough? Oh man, and I gotta break balls for a minute here, Luck.
It would have to be Sam Jackson, right?
So in your last episode on the No Holds Barred, these guys did No Holds Barred their last episode. If you're just joining us,
are you fact checking me?
I know, like Michael Rappaport's podcast, we don't fact check. Well, no, it was I had something in my head. I felt like a double A moment because Luck says, Tony Lister was also Kingpin in Daredevil, the Ben Affleck one. I'm like, no, Michael Clark Duncan. And this is me in my podcast fan mode, and I'm like, where's the number to dial in? Where's the comments? I need to comment on this shit. I was like,
what they made Friday though.
But
I thought about that afterwards. I was like,
it's not your fault, Joe.
If I get messages on Wednesday morning, it's fucking Chuck listening to the show.
Joe is to blame as the straight man here, not being on his game. Come on. And a comic book fan, Joe.
Bro, I'm not double A, bro. Like, you gotta remember,
man.
I'm not the comic encyclopedia.
And comic book movie encyclopedia. None of us enjoyed that movie, but it wasn't that forgettable. Come on. Rest in peace, Michael Clark Duncan, wherever you are.
Affleck is the bomb and Phantom, so.
That is true. That's true.
Affleck is the bomb and Phantom.
All right, people.
I know. Damn. See, everyone's they're both dead now.
Who, Affleck?
Michael Clark Duncan and Tony Lister.
Oh yeah,
Is it Tony or Tommy?
I thought it was
Tom. Tom is the bully. Tom.
But they worked together on Friday though. Remember?
That's right.
He's one of Debo's guys.
That's right. Michael Clark Duncan is one of Debo's guys. I forgot about that. When he knocks out Smokey and you see the guys he's hanging out with.
Oh, shit.
With the beach crews.
Look, I'm telling double A, bro.
Mom's is tripping, man. You guys you're doing a bunch of Friday. They start talking Friday, and they're just quoting Friday to each other. I'm like, what? Are you watching movies still? What the fuck is going on?
That's what you get. We go on tangents.
Was there some of this going on in the pod last?
No video.
Not where we're at. Yeah, not where we work at.
Cut the feed. Cut the feed. Well, we're not gonna say where they work at here, like
But-
Joe does. Why don't you bleep this, man? You know what you're doing. Bleep this.
Right?
Yeah, you can
No,
definitely.
he
do that.
definitely can't now. I mean, if he let the Paige doing stuff to the belt stuff.
Oh, I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, way to go, look. Well
I
done.
was like-
Great producing
How
here.
many people listened at the very end?
And boy, am I glad I stayed. Yeah, man. But this is another cool aspect about Joe and Lucky shows that Lucky does know what he's doing when it comes to podcasting, and he
I
can
don't.
punch in sound effects and all that great stuff. So,
I always forget that when we're recording. It's like, I should have done that.
Steve, enjoy the barbecue, man. Thank you for
Oh,
joining us
nice.
for the time you were
Nice,
here.
Steve.
Steve, I'll say it to you. Cheers.
Nice.
There you go. Cheers from one of the now watch this duo here of Joe. But Steve, enjoy the barbecue, man, and stay safe and cool out there as well. So we appreciate the viewership here. Steve's one of our great fans that joins us every Friday. But yeah, so what are you gonna do with horror? Are you guys gonna is it next? Or are you gonna see? We talked about Quiet Place, but then in y'all's episode at the end, you kind of put us on the spot when you start talking Batman. So it was like, oh damn, do we got to do Batman?
And
now?
we're thinking maybe we do a double episode.
That
today.
would've
But,
been good.
Things happen.
Mhm.
That's the same reason why my podcast, Dork Dad podcast, was so sporadic, is just trying to balance schedules and get people on board.
No, totally, man, totally. Yeah, I get it. But you guys think that you'll do horror before Batman, or are you gonna do a Batman straight run? Like, or
No. I think
No.
Batman is something that it's gonna be throughout our podcast because again, we're fucking planning on being here for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like we want to do this again and again. Now, AA or even the reason why we do our podcast is like we kind of want to know what people think about movies. Movies hit you in a certain way that, man, like it can take you different places. Like I said, it's an escape, and we grew up, kind of hard. So it was just like,
no.
in those rough times in the 90s and stuff. That's why these movies hit so hard for us because, we get into them. And for us back at that time, that was an escape for us,
Right.
So, that's what they are now. But when we go back and we watch those random movies that, maybe it wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but it fucking hit us in a certain way.
Yeah.
It allows us to, kind
For
of
sure.
get back into that or get back into that mindset and remember where the fuck you came from. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And again, I mentioned it earlier, but that's a really cool part of you guys' show is that when you start having those type of conversations about the movies you're discussing, you end up kind of getting there and getting to like, you talk about both of you about your past, your growing up, your own parents. And that's a kind of a really like intimate look at, your hosts and their life. And it's not just a straight show about, all this movie or whatever, but again, how the movie played a part in your life and how it affected you. I mean, I think that's a really interesting look. You know what I mean? At, everyone's got a story, right? You know what I mean? And it's like we're the common man, the everyman, or whatever.
Dusty
But,
Rhodes.
yeah, for sure. Some sons of plumbers.
yeah.
But that's I think I really enjoyed that aspect of you guys show. And again, like I said, I've said it before on this show, not on one that you guys were on, but on previous episodes, that it's interesting. Me and AA have a built-in rapport. It's the conversations we've had for our whole lives. Again, I've known him since before he was born. So it's like, the whole time, we've always talked like this and enjoyed the same things, but you guys didn't even know each other. And it is really interesting to me when I'm hearing you guys. And
Still in our guts.
yeah, and then that you have so many things in common and so many similarities, and that you agree on a lot of things. Whatever I don't think you guys are pandering to each other. It doesn't come off that way.
No.
I think that if you disagreed, you would genuinely disagree. But it seems that y'all are in agreement, and it makes me think. I said, man, that's exactly how these guys are going to connect with their audience, is because the way that you didn't know each other and have things in common, you are going to connect with other people like that.
Yeah.
You guys remind me so much of my good friend Fred Knight or Jimmy. We spent so many years working together for Big Bank, 11 years together there. And we'd have these same conversations. He was a dad. He's got younger kids and older kids. He's got kids that are grown right now, but he's still got little ones at home too. He had his the two sets separate, like a long time apart. He'd say some of the same things that you guys said. I think it was in your Field of Dreams episode, talking about, you know, you're trying to give your kids a better life that you didn't have.
Of course.
I mean, but then you're like, well, fuck, how does this affect them? You know what I mean? Like, you know, because he went through that, and it was like, man, now, you know, the one kid is like, you know, I say spoiled, but it's like didn't really learn from the things that we learned from that made you maybe work hard, get a good job, and then provide for your kid. You know what I mean? And obviously, you know, this as a dad too, double A. It's like, you know, we're all kind of trying to do that. You know, again, I don't have kids of my own, but they're, you know, kids in my life that I care a lot for and try to act in that type of capacity.
No, it's like you got your nephew, man. Like
totally, totally, man. So yeah, those type of things too. It's like I want to fucking quit work sometimes, but I'm like, where does that leave?
Example, bro.
Yeah, where does that leave them or whatever? You know, people that rely on you. Now, one thing I haven't really heard you guys say, and I want to ask you guys about this: the movies that you guys talk about, are these movies that you watch with your kids, or are these like these are dad movies? Dad has a moment, and I got 2 hours. Everyone's out of the house. If that ever happens, I know none of us probably ever have an empty house.
Yeah.
But and you do, it's like, I'm going to watch, you know, you almost had to team up and podcast together in order to watch these classics you used to love, because will your kids sit through what you did? I know on Dork Dad, you said before that you initially wanted them to be on with you, and they're like, we don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So then you had to get Joe surrogate here.
I've been a kid.
Before my oldest were teenagers, there was a period of time where I introduced them to all the movies that I enjoyed, you know. We did like this whole 80s run. We did like, you know, all the regulars, Goonies and whatnot.
Awesome.
But also movies like Adventures in Babysitting.
That's great. Great stuff.
I just want them to know what I watched as a kid.
Yeah.
And that's what, when I came into this room, that's what I was wondering about Double A, because Double A and I have kids kind of same age.
Similar age, yeah.
I was wondering, like, he's in the comic books. Are your kids in the comic books?
No.
Or no?
No, they're not. They're all tablets and
bro,
YouTube. Yeah. I've tried getting them into it. I've tried getting them movies. It's forget about it.
Yeah. And the digital comic books?
No, they don't
Comicsology,
read those,
baby.
man. Nothing.
Even Marvel movies?
No.
See, your son's kind of into horror a little bit.
My son's a gamer.
Okay, it's just the games.
And he likes the horror monsters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's
not even like me whatsoever. I'm not into gaming.
You don't game. Yeah,
I'm like, he's like into Friday the 13th. He can tell you what each Friday the 13th is about. I'm like, I couldn't tell you what part 3 is about.
Would you guys ever do a game on y'all show? Because see, we'll never do gaming because Double A don't game, so that's like it wouldn't work. But would you guys both game somewhat?
Like, one of our first concepts was we talked about like watched and have not watched, or what were we gonna call it?
My first idea was, you know, talking about, you know, movies you haven't seen, right? And there's a lot of movies I haven't seen. I said I haven't watched them.
Yeah.
You know,
watch, not watch.
Seen it, not seen it.
Yeah, seen it, not seen it.
Pick a movie where someone is real familiar with it, and you know, like for me, something I've only watched just one time. You know, just kind of that kind of concept. But I think what we do now is
no, but we were talking about like heard it, not heard it, like, you know, about music, you know, played it, not played it, you know, talking about games and stuff like that. So we kind of wanted to get like. We kind of want to get everywhere. We don't want to limit ourselves.
Okay.
And that was one of the things too. Is like he's like, bro, we're gonna really talk about Renaissance Man. It's like, well, who else is fucking gonna do it? You know,
You know what?
We gotta show Danny DeVito some fucking love.
Myself and CM have had that before.
Yeah.
We've had that before. Where, like CM's like, man, it'll be a really cool topic. Blah blah. I'm like, yeah.
We're gonna fucking lose everybody if we.
And I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, and we've had some that were like kind of like bottomed out. It was like,
like our intro. He likes the roots.
I love their intro. It's so funny.
But that's what we try to get into. It's like fuck, when we start talking to Double A about, well, you know, we should do the parenting aspect, and fucking Double A says Parenthood, which is one of my favorites, and he's like, bro, that's fucking my favorite too. Like, oh my god, like
that would have been perfect for the dads of podcasting here.
Of course, I have to cry in front of Double A.
I'm only knock you down a few steps. You see me cry plenty of times.
Yeah,
we're still here. A few comments in, guys. Let says hi. Let, how are you doing? And Aaron B says, we need to do an outdoor movie night, picks from each member of the podcast. Okay, that
We're
sounds
doing an
really
outdoor
cool.
movie, Aaron. We're gonna do Bound by Honor, and you have to be Nico.
Hey,
So,
there you go.
We're doing it.
That's a long night.
Life's a risk. When's the last time you and Luck hang out, Aaron B? You got to hang out with Luck. I know you're not at their workplace that shall not be named, Jill. I cringe every time I hear you. I'm like, ugh.
Crystal, what's up, Crystal?
Hi, Crystal. How's it doing? How you doing? How's it doing?
How's it doing?
How you doing?
Tony B in the house. He says, AJ, Alex Rivas, Jerry, and Andrew. Are you getting some tags out there for us, brother?
Damn,
We appreciate that.
Thank you, Anthony.
You know, Nene's probably busy being Angel right now. So, yeah, I saw him earlier at Market Square talking about Spanish Elvis. But I thought he was called Melvis. Mexican Elvis from downtown. Yeah. I used to ride the bus with him. The cool guy.
Cultural icon.
Not a lot of talking. Not a lot of talking there. So he's more showman. More the showman there for that guy. Guys, so we're getting up on probably what will be our last 30-minute break. We're not quite there yet. But if you're wondering who these gentlemen in the back are, we are here with Lucky and Joe of the Now Watch This with Lucky and Joe podcast. Go give them a follow on Instagram at Now.
I'm a watcher.
Yes.
At now_watch_this pod. Did I get all the underscores?
This underscore pod.
Okay,
And again, if you're just another Friday Night fan, you know, you can find us in the Friday Night Faithful.
Yep.
Yeah. And you can go give us a follow too at Just Another Friday Night Podcast. Jeez, I just like to play with this feature.
No, fucking do it.
And guys, if you like the merch you're seeing in the back from these gents, and you want to see some of our merch as well, go to throughleggedrabbit.com. Check out all Lucky's great t-shirt designs. Man, besides ourselves, there's some really cool shit out there. If you catch this man in a t-shirt, it's likely one of his own, which is very cool. Yeah. They're usually really rad shirts. Go back in our catalog and check out our episode with Dork Dad, The Dork Night Begins, and then go to his podcast, Dork Dad Podcast, and check out our episode on there. And Lucky has a really famous guest besides us, we're not famous. It was like much more famous guest than us. The really cool story of you.
Cool artists, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool artists.
The Lilo Brancato episode, yeah.
The same day. You were doing double episodes at that time, man. Have you guys done that yet? Since y'all record after the fact, like you ever double record? Is that a possibility?
We were with Jerry at one time, but we didn't get to link up. And then we were even thinking about it for today because we've been dying to get Double A on. So, but it's gonna happen.
It's summertime. I know people.
There you go.
Doing stuff.
I know dad stuff.
Yeah, work's been killing us, man.
Yeah. We both. Well, Double A every week. I feel for my brother here, but my last 2 weeks have been extra tough as well, and I don't think it's going anywhere. Guys, we're going to take a quick blip of a break for the audio listeners, and we'll be right back. And we're going to enter in, I think will be our last 30-minute block, talking with Joe and Lucky from Now Watch This.
And we're back.
And we didn't go anywhere. Come on, guys. Aaron B says,
Lucky and Joe.
With an exclamation mark. So
Aaron.
we owe a lot to Aaron. Yeah. We've said this before on your show, on our show.
That's how Joe met, right?
Where's the next food review, Aaron?
That's what I'm saying. He says he's out of the food game.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out. He was.
His heart couldn't take it anymore.
He did some financial videos that are out there. They're kind of cool. But I think Aaron would be a great. What does Jordan Belfort do now?
The motivation.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
that type of thing or whatever. Like, you want to make money? Yeah,
we're not going home.
We're not going home. There you go. So, yeah. So Aaron B, we owe a lot to, man, including, like I said, this mic right here. Tony B says, y'all should check out the Flo Hernandez showcast on Wednesday. I did check out the last episode you tagged me in. Very cool. Good stuff. Funny guy. Where's he out of, Tony B? Dallas? He's not from San Antonio, right? I saw they mentioned 210, and he had a really cute gal on there with them. So she gave us a follow on our podcast.
Holy shit.
So
all right.
if she wants to come on the show, she's always welcome here.
Cool.
I don't know if I could say that. So maybe not. I don't know.
We're off there.
I know. We'll get Joe to do an after episode. Aaron B says, I might be back in. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. He says, while eating a cheeseburger. And Tony B says he's from Dallas. Okay, cool. All right. And yes, Kat Diesel, that's who was on the show. And she went and gave, I don't know if I think she gave the Instagram a follow.
All right.
So that was pretty cool. We appreciate that from her. So let her know there, Tony B, Open Invite to be on our show. They go live on Wednesday, and it's kind of like a variety comedy show or whatever. So it was pretty good. He has like a puppet and some other stuff. It's like a redneck puppet, I think. So I don't know. It's kind of cool. Kind of some cool stuff there.
If you grew up in San Antonio, your puppet is that one dude, right? The nacho guy.
Not ready. What the? I don't know, but somebody the other day put up a meme and it said, remember the Mike Yupniks, the Maya Khan? They were like, this is the San Antonio Joe Exotic. And I was like, oh shit. Because he got real live with the shirts and all that. You know what I mean? Shit, the one I remember was what was the mother's window tent grandma? There was like a mother's window tent grandma or something like that.
I forgot about that one.
Old ass shit, San Antonio shit, guys. If you're not in on that. And I got my movies shirt from when I went to movies. The King of Beepers. JJ. That was my first beeper when I was at the Galaxy.
Damn.
And nobody was beeping me. My mom at the Galaxy there. Oh, what time are you getting up?
No, bro, I'd be with my girlfriend and my stupid friends fucking beat me the I love you message. And she's like, who the fuck is that? I'm like, oh, God.
I think the closest thing we have now is with Billy Bob's kids.
Ah, shit.
Oh, Billy Bob. Yeah.
Oh, I hate those guys.
Or I guess our real rivals, guys, for the airwaves would be Billy Madison and his crew.
Ah, shit. We're not even close to it, bro.
They like to get into the whole RCW game right there.
Are they? Actually, yeah, they used to promote. I don't know if they promote anymore.
I think the one guy, Nard or whatever his name is, he'd get thrown through tables.
Yeah, he was.
For Billy Madison.
I was a big Lau and Han guy, man, back in the day.
All right.
I'm old school, bro.
So what do you think? You think us four could take the Billy Madison show?
Oh,
We get Brandon Oliver on here and let him know.
I mean, AA, and then, I'm managed, bro.
Yeah.
I'm manager.
I think you could take some bumps.
No, yeah, I'll take some bumps, I'll come in like Jim Cornette with the fucking, with the tennis racket.
Hey, Luck's a pretty big guy. They like to throw some dudes
Yeah,
around.
I'm just saying me and you, bro.
Oh, no.
Sure. We're there for heat.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I'm there to do my Ric Flair move, and then I give you the low blow. You know what I mean? So Brandon Oliver, if you're out there listening with RCW, let him know.
He follows us, though.
Brandon works at East Central, bro. So I see him every once in a while.
Putting people on black. There's always
my bad.
Workplace.
My bad. Kayfabe. I'm breaking kayfabe.
Speaking of Brandon, I'm going to go to the July show.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I bought tickets. So,
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. So I got tickets for that one. Colt Cabana's going to be there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
We had the pleasure of meeting Colt Cabana, the great wrestling podcaster.
The one guy,
Cabana, yeah.
we got a VIP. It was funny. We got a VIP where it pays for everyone, autograph and a picture. He did not participate in that, and Sam was kind of like hesitant.
Yeah, we were like, we bought the package because he was like, oh no, I'm not part of that. We were like, motherfucker.
So he didn't fucking do nothing with you?
No, I got him to sign my belt.
Yeah.
And some other
Because he
stuff.
seems like a cool dude.
He is.
Bro. Like,
He was very cool.
Yeah, he was.
I bought the Wrestling Road Diaries.
But
DVD,
Sam was a little thrown off after that. He was like,
I was like, motherfucker. I bought a T-shirt too. I already had like my merch
You
all
got the
piled
Colt
up.
shirt.
And he tells us that, yeah.
He saw it. He saw it at the Ring of Honor show.
The I Star David Colt shirt.
Yeah.
Sorry, David.
Dude, shout out to RCW, bro. I went to go see them a few times, and
I missed out on the other one. They were having a show this month, and that one sold out quick.
And I remember seeing, who's in WWE now, Keith Lee, in RCW, but Ray Rowe.
Ray Rowe.
Ray Rowe was
champ
one of
for
my
a while.
fucking favorites.
Sammy
Yeah,
Guevara.
Death Row, bro.
Yeah, Sammy was there too.
That's right, Sammy Guevara.
Sammy G's I'm gonna tell you right now, Sammy G's gonna be a fucking star.
You remember we saw him
When he leaves
Ricochet?
fucking
In AEW.
Yeah, no.
No,
When he
in
leaves-
AEW.
No, fuck. He's gonna be a star.
Him
in
and
AEW,
Ricochet,
bro.
the Austin show.
Oh, that was
Man.
dude. We saw them tear it up at Wrestle Circus. Him and Ricochet, they tore it up.
Okay, and I'm gonna give a wrestling take here, right?
Here we go. Let Luck get back in the show, Joe. See, look what Aaron B says. Lucky will fuck people up. This is what Aaron says right here.
He's the muscle. He's the fucking muscle.
Yeah, quiet but brute force. You know what I'm working with.
Yeah, we're the same thing, bro.
You gotta answer.
Would y'all ever do a Halloween special? For sure. In costume? Yeah. Well, we have a Halloween special.
We got a whole month of Halloween.
We have a whole month of Halloween
and one summer episode.
Go look back at mine and Double. You guys gonna do Halloween? Is it gonna be month long? I need 4 episodes in October.
We could.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, what I'm big on is like around September we start getting into fucking horror mode in my house. You know what I mean?
I love it now. Halloween's like early now. Right?
Yeah. Oh, you got to give it 2 months, bro. Because fuck that.
It used to. My birthday's mid-September. It used to be I didn't see costumes until October. Now all the decorations are out at the end of August. So for me, I'm like, let's just start decorating now. Fuck it. I love Halloween. So for me to have my birthday kind of be like pre-Halloween in September, I'm like, right on. I can fuck with that. You know, I'll have a Halloween themed birthday.
Dude, I'm big in it, man. I mean, we're gonna do Monster Squad, right?
Tony B, these guys want to do a horror episode, not horrors, Joe. A horror episode. So
Me and Aaron are out.
what movie do you want them to do? They're asking for suggestions. Let's hear you guys' suggestions for the Now Watch This podcast to do regarding
Halloween.
horror movies and Halloween. Let's see. Aaron also says the beeper. That was earlier. And then he comes back and says, are there any local wrestlers y'all could have on the show or get backyard footage of?
We are talking with one guy from RCW.
That's
Can we get
right.
Joey
we are.
Spector?
You know what? He told me he's not wrestling anymore. Remember Andromeda?
Yeah.
Andromeda, yeah. It's a
So he's not
friend of the show.
doing it.
Well, he's not wrestling himself anymore, but the promoting thing maybe still be in the works.
And yeah, there might be some local wrestlers that we can probably hit.
We could probably ask him to introduce. I think he's going to kind of get into a more managerial type. I'm thinking like a
But I'm pretty
behind the
sure it
scenes.
is. We just have to ask, like Lucky does.
And then
Yeah.
Tony B says, y'all should prank con Nene. I don't think I have his personal number. Do you have that, Tony B? Feel free to put that out here in the comments. And we'll give
no.
No.
Okay, I just can't do it. And then there's Jeepers Creepers. Okay, Jeepers Creepers. All right. And there's sequels, right, to that one?
There's a shitload of sequels, I believe.
I know you say your wife does not care
No,
for that one.
she will not watch
Have y'all
it.
seen that one?
I've seen the first.
I've seen the first one only also. I didn't
Okay.
stick with it.
I'm gonna tell you, the first one kind of sucks. The second one is very good.
Better. Okay.
Yeah.
But the rare sequel that does
But
that.
well, here's the thing for me: it's like when you see a movie and they do something fucking stupid in the movie, I can't get off the fact that you'd just fucking left shit alone. You wouldn't get your eyes taken out for Justin Long. I mean, who sees a guy throw a fucking body in a well and then goes back after it?
Justin Long. He also became a walrus in Tusk.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith.
Born out of a podcast.
You know what? Did you see it?
No.
Yeah.
I know.
You know what? Because of the
I'm gonna
podcast,
take him through it eventually.
Okay.
We're gonna get there.
You might want to do that. Because of the podcasting aspect,
No one's talking about that.
and
I guarantee you.
and Kevin Smith talks about it still sometimes.
We
He's
could
like,
probably
"I'm the guy
get
that did
Kevin on."
Tusk." Yeah, we should definitely get. Yeah, we should definitely try to do that. But it has a great premise and setup. It's just the end is kind of flat. But other than that, so good suggestions there from you guys. Let me see what we else we got here in the comments before we get into the last block here. Oh, here we go.
I like the first one, Joe.
So your opinion is now void.
No,
Yeah.
she knows I don't fucking like it. No, she knows.
Jennifer, what is your horror movie suggestion for the Now Watch This podcast? I would like to know this.
Well, she suggested we do Once Bitten, and she don't have to because we're gonna fucking do it.
Is that horror or is it more funny comedy movie?
It falls into that genre. We could ask Roxy because she's the
The resident horror expert.
Yeah.
He's our go-to when we need some
and I'm sure it falls in that category.
clarification. That's a Jim Carrey one, right?
Yeah.
You seen that one? Luck?
I think I've seen it.
See, for me,
Bits and pieces.
I feel like we're in the boat a lot where it's like we saw it, but it was like, it's like a long time ago. It didn't burn itself into my memory. You know what I mean? So
I watch it every fucking Halloween.
Tony B says, I agree. The first one does suck, and the second one is better. So
Yeah,
there you have
okay.
you have someone right in
Me and
in front of
Anthony.
you. Aaron B says, what's wrong with the first one? Now you're starting controversy, Joe. See that? And your wife says, Children of the Corn.
Okay.
Or as we say here, El Niños de Elotes.
Yeah. Or you drive out to Castroville, Yeah.
Or Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery. Stephen King fan.
The new
No.
or the old?
She wants to watch the old one, and she knows I won't because I don't like to see that Rachel girl. Like,
that part's fucked up.
That fucking, and then the little kid gets hit by the fucking phone.
That shit is the word. I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Legit. Speaking of Roxy, me and my girlfriend dropped her off at home the other day, and she has a cat named Church that looks exactly like that cat that sits over at her house. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? I don't want to be near that
Hey,
cat.
Gate scares the fuck out of me.
That kid is scary.
The gate.
Tony B says the first one looked fake. That's what's wrong with it. But the Jeepers Creepers crowd is really out.
Yeah, right.
So, we always say this about our show. It's like in the early on is like slow, and then the comments start rolling in. The freaks come out at night. You know what I mean? So
Hey.
Oh,
there you go.
There we go. The
Exorcist.
classic.
The classic. You can't go wrong. Guys, great conversation going here. Let's get back into the last block of
Lot of
recording here.
suggestions.
The last 30 minutes we're going to spend here with the Now Watch This pod, guys. So if you have any questions, anything you want to ask them, talk to them about, get their opinion on, Now's the time to
Or what
ask.
movie you want them to watch.
Or what movie do you want
Doesn't
them to
matter.
watch?
Any genre, right, guys?
Any genre.
You're the Friday Night Faithful, and you're the Friday Nights, but you're also the watchers, right
Watchers.
now. So what do you want them to watch?
Yeah, because our podcast was born out of the Friday Night Faithful. You know.
Very true. Very true.
No, movie, I don't know if it would fall under the horror category, but I used to enjoy as a kid is Something Wicked This Way Comes. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
No, I have not. That's a great title, though. What movie? Who's in that?
It's not a Harry Potter movie. I know that's what you're thinking.
You know what? Say no more. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to watch it now. Put it in the category of the Roadhouse.
Damn.
I thought it would get you guys down, but maybe not.
Damn.
No.
No, it's good.
I'm
Yeah.
older than you. You've seen
No,
it?
no, yeah, it's
A
on
little,
Tubi.
but very by a little
Is it?
bit. I'm not that much older than us, look. Or
Me
me.
and Luck are the same age.
Wait, I was gonna say you're
Yeah.
closer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
like the third youngest in this room. Second youngest
I
in this
remember
room.
that movie being really creepy as a kid.
Something Wicked This Way Comes. Anybody we know in it? Who are the actors?
It's
The old
not one
man
of those
thing.
movies like
Okay.
it's 70s, 80s.
I think it was.
You know which one I always hear people talk about is Flowers in the Attic.
Bro.
But I don't remember. Was it scary?
No, it's just
No, it's fucking
incest.
creepy.
Nice,
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, that is
That's a brother
terrifying.
and sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got
Isn't that a true story,
it's
too?
I don't know. It probably is somewhere.
no, it's a book. It's a book.
It's a book, but it probably
Yeah.
is true somewhere.
Wasn't it brother and sister in Blue Lagoon too? Wasn't that a
No.
I think they were
No,
cousins.
They were cousins.
Doesn't? Yeah. Okay.
Fucking weird. So anyway, incest now is the topic of discussion here.
It was a
Guys,
big topic in the 80s, I guess.
we're in the last block of conversation with Now Watch This podcast. So any questions, comments, suggestions you have for them,
Yeah.
spit them out
Or
now.
shows.
No.
Or shows. Oh, look, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Double A, what's your horror?
And
Because you're a metal guy.
Yeah.
You like Rob Zombie's movies?
They're fine.
Did you like
I
his
go for
Halloween?
the 70s. No, I didn't like
No,
it.
yeah.
No, I didn't like the origin story.
Yeah, I don't need a reason for
I
Michael
don't
Myers
either,
to be
yeah.
fucked up. You know,
Carpenter's
I
whole
just
thing
need him
was
to be
like,
fucked
no.
up. Yeah.
It's just his figure.
I thought it looked cool. It had like a cool look to it. And I was like, okay, I'm okay. It wasn't better than the original by far, but it still was like looked alright.
I'm a werewolf guy, so those are my
Yeah.
go-to horror movies.
Right
So,
on. Few comments here. Aaron B says, y'all need a chick's head that spins
Oh.
around, throws up on y'all.
okay.
Like we need that in the studio, or we need a movie about that because the Exorcist would be
Or we
perfect
can go
for
to a
that.
bar.
Does
and
she
I'm sure
have to
someone will.
masturbate with the crucifix or right after?
This guy.
Tony B says,
Oh, a question for you guys.
ask Joe and Lucky, who is your favorite little rascal, Alfalfa or Spanky?
I mean, without
Oh,
Alpha, right?
and then Aaron gives us a link.
Aaron
Oh,
sends
God.
a link. I can't click on it from the StreamYard app, Aaron, but we will definitely check that out. Thank you. For
That's
sending.
definitely a porn link if you fucking click on it.
Check out the
Mike Myers.
Mike
It's
Myers,
yeah.
Myers TikTok. Okay, we'll definitely check that out. Aaron,
Wait.
Michael-
Austin Powers, Mike Myers, or
Yeah.
Michael Myers?
yeah.
I don't think he has a TikTok.
Are they both on TikTok? I mean, I need to see Austin
I'm sure
Powers.
someone
and-
made one.
I did hear. So I listen to a little bit of true crime podcasts.
Oh,
As well,
yeah.
guys. You guys listen to any true crime?
No.
So the one I like is these two girls. They're actually aunt and niece, but they grew up like sisters. But they were talking on one of their episodes about this is the Morbid podcast, guys. They talked about a TikTok that they had found where it was shot. The whole TikTok is shot like kind of like found footage, like Blair Witch. So it's like you see the guy like getting the body, like dragging it into the bed, but it's just like the hands and all that, and like wrapping it up and they were like, we thought that it was made up for TikTok or whatever, so it's just storytelling. They're like, but at some parts the scenes are so kind of graphic
Holy
and like
shit.
they look, it looks where they're like, they're dragging that body for like a long time. They're like, nobody would be like, like you're doing it for. I mean, I know their clips are a minute, but
Yeah.
like you're like, what? Like nobody would tolerate that. And you're like, they were even like, maybe they work where they have access to bodies or something. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, they said it had got taken. Yeah, they said it had got taken down. That the TikTok had got taken down, but then it had come back, got put up, and then people did say, no, it's not real or whatever. But they were like, it looked very real because the aunt of the two, which again like they like sisters, they're like 10 years apart. She actually is an autopsy technician, so that's her like regular day job. So for her to be like, it looked fucking real. I was like, what the fuck? So, but they didn't give the name of the TikTok, so I was trying to look for it, but I couldn't find it or whatever. But I was like, I don't know if I need to be seeing that shit, and I'll be like not sleeping for fucking
You
weeks.
can't say there's some people that do a lot of production to make those little videos.
Yeah, I was just saying, man. I was gonna say I would definitely be into checking it out. So Aaron says Michael Myers. So Michael Myers is TikToking now. Everyone.
All right.
So like we hit in a time when Blair Witch Project came out, right, in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all?
I saw it with his oldest brother. Yeah, he had.
I never saw any of them.
No,
one or two.
No,
My
really.
wife got sick. Like,
ooh,
I heard a lot of
yeah.
people there. Yeah,
My early camera work on like my dad's like camera that went on your shoulder, like they had the whole video to it. People would get mad he'd get mad at me for recording. It's like you have a lot of spinning around.
Yeah.
But did you think that movie was scary?
I did. So at the time I was working with his oldest brother. We were working at Brooks when it was still a base, and I hadn't heard anything about it. So he was like gassing me up. Him and his then girlfriend, they were like, he was telling me, he was like, no man, blah blah. It's supposed to be like real footage. Now he wasn't convincing me that it was like real. He was more or less saying like, this is how the story is. And I was like, oh okay, cool. He's like, yeah, I've been reading about it on
like the website and everything, right?
Well, no,
Right.
check this out. Like on the Sci-Fi Channel, right before the movie came out, they had a special on the Blair Witch Project.
He mentioned that to me, I think.
It was like if it was real. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like a fucking show. It was a show, like a sighting show, right?
Mhm.
And it was like if it was real. So fucking, I bought it fucking hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
That was the gimmick.
Yeah.
And it was smart too because it was kind of the first of its kind, and the kids were nobodies, so it wasn't like there was any that also made it like, what the fuck is this real?
Like, what happened to fucking Heather?
Yeah, and I mean also too, this is a time when like kind of pre-internet, so it's not like when we could go check if it was real or not. So we went to the theater downtown at River Center. We saw it, and I was like on the edge of my seat, like what the fuck was going to happen? And when they lose the map and all that, I was like, oh no. And
no, the scene when they're in the tent and you hear the kids outside, and there's not fucking kids out there.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's flapping around or whatever. You can hear that
where you see nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
right. And I even thought that the end scene was intense or whatever, but his brother always says that it sucked. Him and his then girlfriend thought it sucked. And they were like, they always tell the story that famously at the end of our movie, this woman stands up and she's like, oh, hell no. And she like storms out. And I was like, up to that moment, I was in it though. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, he's in the corner and what the fuck is going on? Like, I was like, I thought it was tripped out. Like, but see, how we all talked about how we watch movies, I like really let myself get invested. Yeah. So if you would have jumped in to scare me at that moment, I would have fucking pissed my pants probably. But I thought it did a good job of what it was trying to do. You know what I mean? But I don't own it, and I have not really revisited it ever, or would I? And I didn't watch a sequel, so I mean, but for the moment and at the time, like again, I had the benefit of having, your brother hype it up for me, and I was like, what? Really? That sounds like a cool idea, like a concept. And
it was one of those theater watching experiences. So, back in the day.
Exactly. And for that, then it was cool. We talked about when you've been commenting in as a guest, Joe, that like the Rocky Horror Experience. I've never seen it, but because my dad says you need to watch it in the theater. You've seen it like that, right? Like,
and how cool is your dad to fucking recommend Rocky Horror?
Yeah, and are they? I don't know that some people tell me they still do it like that, but I haven't heard of one. I mean, I would go.
Draft House used to do it.
I know Draft. Are they still staying up?
They're around anymore.
I mean,
I know they closed the one on the far west side.
Then they closed the one.
That was the one
too.
I would go to.
Really?
Yeah, they're Texas based, I believe, but I heard their one in LA closed. Also, it didn't make it through COVID. So. What else do we got? Tony B says, "Fook you and fook me" from Austin Powers. Very nice. And Tony B says, "Here's a question for all of y'all: would y'all ever do a paranormal real life haunted house?" That's an interesting question. I would
do it for the show.
I'm probably gonna end up doing the Stanley Hotel pretty soon.
Oh,
that's always been like a fantasy trip for my life.
Oh hell yeah!
Where they shot The Shining
in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
So now, what's the story though? Because they shot the interiors in one place, the exteriors another.
I don't know. I really didn't dig deep. She just wants to go in there because I guess there is some real.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be real isolated over there anyway.
Yeah. So
I mean, I would go check that out. I've seen
they have like the whole tour.
Outside.
They have like a whole ghost tour and everything. But I was like, you can probably just go to the Alamo.
Yeah, we have the
Manger.
Me and my girlfriend from New Year's Eve stayed in the Gunther downtown, and
nice.
It fucking has that vibe. It's like this is the hotel where like Robert Johnson from Crossroads did like some original recordings. They got his pictures of the bars named after him. But I walked around. I have a habit of like I can't sleep in hotels. Like at first, I can't really sleep, but I especially can't sleep in hotels. So I walk around at night. I walk around hotels. I'm like the ghost. And that hotel was kind of. I didn't walk around too much. I walked around a little, and I was like, this is fucking kind of creepy, whatever. So I was like, I went back to the room, but it's got like the wood. It's neat. It's kind of a neat vibe. I don't know. So we have here in San Antonio what the abandoned
Look,
mental hospital.
You got
that's
a lot
the
of
one.
different stuff. That's the thing about San Antonio. It's
Chinese
like
graveyard.
the Donkey Lady Bridge, you know.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, you just go around the Alamo at night, you know. There's stories that come out of there, man, that, like, it's crazy, especially around March. You know, I mean, you got to imagine all the fucking people that died there, you know. River Center has some stories.
Yeah, that is interesting, too. I remember the Dome had some stories, too, right? People had died during the construction of the Alamo Dome.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
So the most famous one I've heard, and again, everyone has a version of this story that I've talked to, so I'll ask you guys since I have you here. But the story about the devil appearing in the night spot with the
West Side, yeah.
Yeah, he's dancing with the girl, and then they start to smell sulfur in the room. They look
That's what
down,
Mom told you?
and he's got your mom has told me one version, but Steve, who's not on the show anymore right now, he knew the location of this story because we had did a thing at work where one time it was like tell a ghost story from like your history. This is the one you hear. Now other people say it didn't happen in San Antonio, it happened like in Mexico. So you hear different versions of it, but that's like the famous story that
every town has this fucking story.
Right. So you're like, you know, what version did you hear and what place you? But yeah, supposedly it was a place on the west side called the Camaroncita, which I think means like shrimp. So I was like, but it was supposedly a night spot, and that really did happen. So you heard your mom tell the story?
Yeah, she told a lot of those stories.
She had a lot. Your mom has a lot of spooky stories
Yeah.
that like fucking freaked me out. Where I was like, fuck that story. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah,
You
old
know.
Hispanic parents, man, they can. Dude, I got told about like a Lachusa that got killed in front of my fucking house.
Somebody had the body where the bones were. And shit.
You know, it's always those Mexican parents. They try to scare you, right? Like, because then, we did believe in La Llorona. We wouldn't go by the fucking river, but then we found out it was just to keep us away from the fucking river.
From the river,
Yeah.
right? Most of us can't swim. I can't swim, so that would be bad for me. Follow the fucking river.
Bro, you can't swim. You can't drive.
I can't swim.
It was always
Again with the call out game.
Double A, man. You gotta carry him.
So for me, it was always the cucuy. Like,
Yeah.
watch out, the cucuy.
Aye.
Yeah, no, I mean for real, that was one that was like, okay, enough said for me. Fuck, I'm not going under the bed, So to answer Tony B's question, would you guys would you do that for the show?
I say yeah.
Yeah.
I say yeah.
Okay.
So
I believe, but I'm fucking scared.
there's a famous place in California, the Winchester Mystery House. We might go to California. We're still debating because trying to figure out my daughter's dance schedule. But if we do, we're trying to figure out things to go while we're in California. That was one thing we might do.
Very nice.
He's actually gonna take me with him so I can record.
in the luggage, putting you in the luggage.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, if you guys
Carry
do
on,
that,
baby.
Nothing to carry on.
yeah, if you guys do something in town, let us know. If I'm there with you guys, I'm probably the slowest. I'm probably
Where's
dead
the,
first.
Isn't it like you can stay in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre gas stations?
I have heard something about
Yeah.
that. There's something from the Chainsaw Massacre you can stay at, but I don't know
Shit.
where it is in relation to us.
It's not too far.
It's not too far.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
But
Okay.
fuck, dude. Like I grew up spending my summers in Natalia.
Mhm.
We fucking go out there, and there's just creepy shit out there, bro.
Yeah,
There's fucking.
I've been to a ranch
Yeah.
out there. That's near Divine, right?
Yeah,
They're
I
pretty
mean,
close
fuck,
to each other.
talk about Children of the Corn. You go out there, oh fuck that.
Anywhere that you're at,
That's in
right out of
Hawaii.
the city is like. I know that between here and Del Rio, there's like an old west town that you can stay at. It's like they used to use it for movies. They said it's like
Yeah.
a whole row is set up like it's
And
like
it
a
almost set up
street
out
in the middle. That's pretty cool. No shit.
Yeah. there. Where they made the Billy Bob Thornton one.
Oh, badass. They premiered that
Oh, the Alamo.
at the Majestic.
Yeah.
The actual album. Okay.
So I think we answered Tony B. Yes, we would do that. Jason says,
Jason,
what's
what's up,
up,
man?
bro? Appreciate that, man. Tony B says the
Haunted
Haunted
Alamo.
Alamo, the Haunted Railroad. Yeah, I would check that out. And then he also says, if y'all ever saw the Crying Lady, what would you do? Run like a motherfucker. I know I would. Shit, fuck that.
See ya.
It would be running slower than these guys probably, so I'm dead first anyway. So
Call Uber.
what's the fucking difference, right? That I can do.
Tell them know your ass.
There you go. This Holtzy Bear in the house says,
Our
"What's
Stephen
happening,
King
boys?
expert.
What up, Johnny boy? Appreciate you, man. Yeah, you just missed our little bit of a talk about Stephen King and some of his stuff, and we kind of got on the topic of horror. And John, do you have a suggestion for the Now Watch This podcast? This podcast.
You're gonna go deep on this.
What to watch? They want to do a horror movie. What would it be? It might be.
What I've been pushing on Luck is like the dude that did Blair Witch Project. He made another found footage movie called Exists,
Okay.
and it's about Bigfoot.
Okay.
And so like when I brought up Bigfoot to Lucky, he's like, yeah, we do Harriet there.
You know what? Ironically, it is the consummate Bigfoot movie. I mean, so it's like name me a Bigfoot movie, you'd be like, Harry and the
yeah. No, it is
just like the baseball movies. He was all serious, watching the serious ones, and I'm like, oh, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I was Major League. You were on all the comedy side. Like I was like, all right, I can. And those are the ones I had seen. I was like, I hadn't really seen a lot of the ones you were talking. I've never seen The Natural.
Yeah.
So I was like, Joe was on all the serious ones. And I was like, I haven't seen those. Not that I would not watch them because I realized I like baseball movies.
Yeah.
I love Moneyball. A lot of the ones you guys mentioned. I was like, never fucking played a day in my life and don't really care to watch it on TV, but the movies are pretty damn good. So,
well, that's one of the things about it. It's one of those movies. Like I said, baseball can be funny, can be emotional, take you everywhere, man. You get all those fucking feelings.
Sports as a whole, man. So John says It Follows. It was a good one. He says.
Guys, like I think that's the STD one.
I haven't
they have
seen
to
that.
have sex in order to get the creature to chase after you. I think that's that one.
Joe talked about that with Paige and
no, that wasn't It Follows. No. I think I downloaded the wrong movie.
John says The Natural is a great fucking movie.
It
awesome.
fucking is.
John is an active listener, guys. He spends all his time on the road, so he listens from all his road travels back and forth. So I suggested him to you guys last week to give you guys a listen. They just did No Holds Barred, John. I know that's up your alley for sure.
You should have called it No Holds Barred.
Yeah, it is that one.
Yeah, STD, sexually transmitted demon.
Wow.
I hope that equates to like a lot of tits in the movie as well.
Is there? I don't remember.
I mean, you gotta go that route to get that sold.
That's an interesting plot.
I mean, go 1980s Night of the Demons,
Oh no, they met. You met. They
Me,
met her at Trader's Village when she
Roxanne,
came.
my wife. Yeah, we all went to go meet her.
80s horror was the fucking best, man. Like, oh my
I
god.
love that stuff.
Yeah.
Tremors,
Yeah.
Critters.
So in our Halloween month that we did, guys, that we did the werewolf, the vampire, we did Stephen King, and then we did the crow at the end because it was our last show was on
I think like
the 30th, the day before Halloween, and that movie
Day
takes
of the
place
Dead,
on the 30th. So how would you guys approach it? Because we talked about what we would do for another year. We might try the slashers, the Michael Myers, the Jasons. How would you guys approach it? Would it be like that? Would you go that route, or would you go the more classic horror movie monsters, or more slasher type flicks?
What do you think?
That's a good question. I think you guys kind of did, your monsters and stuff. I was when we were talking about, I was thinking like maybe vampire movies and then maybe like slasher movies, or just kind of group them together. Yeah,
what I like, and again, one of the things I really like about you guys' show though is that we tend to bundle things up, and then we end up being like, fuck this 3-hour show, like we need to talk about everything, and we forget stuff because it's so much. It's kind of really cool when you guys deep dive on one movie because you cover it literally from beginning to end because you're talking the time from the movie starts to pretty much when the movie ends, and it allows you that time to really like, oh look, here comes the part where whatever is going to happen, and then you guys end up talking about that. Like I totally forgot about the fucking Hulk Hogan on the bed scene with the push-up scene or whatever, and then when you were talking about Hogan's ass, I was like, he shows his ass in that movie. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I can't go back and watch it for that now because then I got a whole other bunch of problems with the psychiatrist.
Hulk Hogan's ass.
And then John also suggests Critters 1 and 2. You know what?
Critters 2 is the fucking best movie.
I have never seen these movies.
Oh my fucking god, bro.
I have a great picture though of a critter biting me.
Yeah, you do.
Arm.
Yeah.
But that was at the DC pop-up.
Yeah, but you didn't even know why it's cool.
He was still biting me,
It's a trippy movie I used to like to watch was Troll.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one I do remember. Troll. Yeah, that one was
That's
fucking
early
freaky.
Drew Barrymore. Yeah.
Trippy movie.
And the ball is going down the stairs and all that shit. I remember that one being fucking freaky, man, for real. Tony also says, if I ever saw the It Clown, I would kick him in the face.
What about a killer clown?
All right. Killer Clown from Outer Space. There you go.
Nice, John. Nice. He saw the original 13 Ghosts last night from the 60s.
I've never seen. I didn't know that it was a remake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nice.
The Tony Shalhoub one is pretty good.
That
Too.
was good.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
interesting.
People
Mike
went
Rocks.
Then
Tony asked John, was it good? Okay.
John, if you can.
Night,
I thought he said Jonathan Holt was good. I was like, yeah, I want to spend a couple minutes with him.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Night of the Is it lepus? Am I saying it right? Or
Yeah,
lepus?
yeah, that's right.
What's a lepus?
I think it's a disease.
Is that like a locust? Like a locust?
Lupus? No, it's not lupus.
Now that's a disease for sure.
It's like Night of the Creeps. Remember that one?
Oh, maybe that's just short for like lupus, like chalupas. So Night of the Chalupas. Chalupa night at your house. Salsita.
We can do Night of the Fupas.
Oh.
Oh.
I got you the page, says She was fit.
We're not going to be allowed back in.
John's telling it was the Descent and
Decent.
Rabbit.
He said it was decent.
Decent. Decent. And Rabbit is a lepus. I do know Peter Rabbit 2 came out yesterday, so there's that, John. If you haven't got to theaters, Peter Rabbit Part 2 is now out. Guys, I want to give you guys an opportunity to plug all your shit. This episode, guys, Who Watches the Watchers? We are here with the hosts of Now Watch This with Lucky and Joe. And guys, on their Instagram, you can go find them at now_watch_this_pod on Instagram. Give them a follow and a like. I forget what you do on each one, so somebody help me out.
Follow everywhere.
Yeah, follow. Give them a follow also on Twitter at Now Watch This Pod.
What's on your story?
2 W's. Now Watch This.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Watch This on Twitter.
Ooh.
If you guys like the tee these guys are wearing, or if you like our logo and want to pick up one of our tees, you can go to threelegedrabbit.com and pick up that there, as well as a really great Joker shirt, a really great Slimer shirt,
Black Panther, right?
And a really great, Chadwick Boseman Black Panther shirt. He's got like a drawn crown on. I own that shirt. I should wear that shirt tonight.
Yeah.
I just grabbed the newest shirt I had.
Well, and summer's coming up, and we got the Just Another Friday Night bikini in there.
There we go.
For men only.
Mankini. Yeah.
Mankini.
Are you guys gonna do tanks for yourself? Now watch this tank.
No, we're gonna. We're gonna model them, but that's about it.
Run the gambit on the merch there, Luck. You got all the control, brother. Okay, a little bit of comments here came in. Let's see. After Lepus, Johnny says, he's telling me he's going to check it out. And it's about giant rabbits. I have seen Attack of the
I've seen a clip
Tomatoes.
of that, yeah.
Okay, all
That's
right.
scary.
The Killer Tomatoes?
Giant rabbits.
Yeah, that'd be, three-legged rabbit.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like Pumpkinhead came to mind.
Ooh, Lance Henriksen.
Yeah,
Classic.
right.
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah. You can make a whole podcast.
About shit that I haven't seen.
That's why I said seen it, not seen it.
There's still time, guys. There's still time. Here we are.
Roadhouse has to be number one.
Yeah, it's gonna be me and Adam talking about it while Chuck sits in the corner and fucking watches it.
We'll play the movie while I watch it. While they talk about it, and I'll react to the movie as I watch it.
No,
Hey, Terry Funk's in there, Charlie.
yeah, dude, you're gonna watch.
I know.
Terry
man.
Funk's in there.
All right, I'm down with Terry Funk. I'm down with checking that out. All right, guys. We want to let you know that you can always send. Where's the best place to send suggestions, guys? How do you want to get them to get it to Facebook through?
I think the Facebook fan page,
The
right?
Facebook group, watchers.
We want
Might be
people to
easiest.
participate.
Guys, if you're a member of our group, the Friday Night Faithful, for fans of Just Another Friday Night, you've seen us promote this other group, which is a Now Watch This Watchers. You can become a watcher as well. These guys talk. We talk movies. But they talk strictly movies. Well, and it's going to be shows.
Yeah.
And maybe some other stuff, maybe some games, right? Yeah, I think they're open to talk about.
It's called Now Watch This.
Yeah, and
We'll watch it.
we've been lucky in the time that we've lucky. Lucky's also been lucky, but in the time that they've been doing their show now, 6 episodes in, we haven't had any overlap, like stuff that they've covered. They didn't do the Snyder Cut. We did.
Well, you don't cross streams, bro.
Right, we don't cross streams. Yeah, not until we're up against Ghost.
We've seen Ghost.
Damn.
So yeah, unless are you a god?
No.
You say yes. So I have seen that one. That's my favorite 80s movies probably. But yeah, so what were some other ones? People asked us about Mortal Kombat. We didn't cover Mortal Kombat, but if you guys, I said if you want to hear a good Mortal Kombat episode, go check out Joe Lucky's breakdown. They did a really great job. And I always learn when I listen to our show. I didn't know what you were saying about how he was wrapped up and dispersing the energy. I was like, oh fuck, that made it you did a much better job than they did of describing it. You know what I mean? And Joe's very great assessment that the lead character sucked and was useless. I agree. So they got a really great show. Again, some of the classic movies they covered recently.
King Kong, too. Right?
Yeah,
King
yeah,
Kong
we
was
kicked it
that
off
was
with
our
that one,
first episode. Yeah, King Kong. And we didn't do that one. That's when we both did watch, but we just didn't cover it. We don't have a chance to get to everything. It's always we're going to cram in this or cram in that, or we're doing a comic book or something like that. So if you guys are just like, you know what, y'all's podcast is okay, but sometimes y'all talk about wrestling and we don't like that shit, go check out their episode. Not the No Holds Barred one, because that was about wrestling.
It's not. It's about Rick.
That wasn't a good setup.
There's some love scene in it, you know.
Hulk Hogan's ass. And if you stay after the credits on these guys' show, you might hear Joe talking about explicit porn scenes.
No.
After
you
credit.
have to watch. It's called Now Watch This. It's in the title.
Tony B says, what was the craziest thing y'all ever seen? Movie-wise?
The Page video?
And then when Xavier Woods comes in and you were like, it's a new day. Yes, it is.
You do fucking watch. I told you. I knew it.
And now watch this podcast.
Fucking Albert's crying in his Young Bucks shirt.
Oh, man. So I will say this. I am pushing hard for these guys to watch. And Anthony, you can go watch this on YouTube. Do not watch it with your children around, but maybe your wife or girlfriend. Go watch The Strange Thing About the Johnsons on YouTube.
I thought you said not to watch that.
Yeah, you guys got to watch it. I was forced to watch it because I watched Hereditary and I was confused. And everyone that was on the Hereditary fan pages were like, go watch his first movie on YouTube. It's only 30 minutes. And then I watched it. I was fucked up after that. So I want y'all, Misery Loves Company, to watch this. And
we would never wish that on anybody.
Come on, I'm putting it in the box. I've already wrote it on y'all's page. I'm a fan, damn it. I'm a watcher. And I want you to watch.
Yeah.
Did you watch Hereditary?
No.
Did you watch Midsummer? Well, this guy is like, he does like weird horror movies.
Midsummer's fucked up.
You know, it was just like The Wicker Man to me. So anyway, guys, take an opportunity. We're in the last 4 minutes of the show. Plug away what you guys want to plug, and I'll go to the significant thing here.
Now watch this
Yeah.
on all social media. You'll find it somehow, underscores or not.
Yeah. This is the logo. So if you guys see this, you're in the right place. Give it a like, give it a follow, give it a share.
3leggedrabbit.com, the number 3, leggedrabbit.com.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should put /podcast gear.
Yeah.
You get right to the podcast stuff.
Yeah, you get their gear there, you get our gear there, you can get other people's podcasts there. You get the Dork Dad podcast gear there.
Yes, and again, as a guy that's been y'all's biggest fan, I you know, I'll put that out there. It's awesome to be on.
Man, it's awesome to have you on, Joe, and I appreciate both you guys making time to come out.
In the Friday Nighter.
Yeah, in the Friday Night Studio.
Yeah, you made it.
Bro, we saw the comic book wall.
Unlike my first time where
I know.
my internet sucked.
And I was drinking at that time, and we wanted to have you in and drink. You didn't drink at home, and we had to go. That was when our COVID scare happened. We had an in-house COVID scare. We were gonna have Lucky on, and
luckily nothing happened. But
luckily nothing happened.
Well, I feel bad too, because every show that I watch, y'all would be drinking, and I know the deal here. But now I feel bad that I show up. You know, I meet Double A's wife for the first time, and I show up with a fucking bag full of beer, and I'm just, oh god, this guy's not coming back anymore. Was he talking about porn?
Who's that? No. I think that was about the Logan Paul.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying that's they're gonna say about me.
my wife.
Oh, but
he's not coming back. But you know,
No, I did not. I did not watch the fight.
Also, the Dork Dad podcast. Even
Yes.
though my feet's filled up with Now Watch This, but
No, man.
there's still some episodes out there.
Yeah.
I'll come out with a new one of these days.
I didn't see it either, Tony B. But
I wasn't gonna waste money on it.
yeah.
But Lucky's show, Dork Dad podcast, really amazing interview with Lilo Brancato. If you guys are fans of Bronx Tale, speaking of movies, we're all movie watchers.
Yeah.
Had him as a guest on there. Amazing conversation. That's a really great episode that stands out to me. And then also, too, I always forget her name, the really lovely chef you had on.
Yeah, the
Mary
chef,
Lou, San Antonio local chef who's also a cosplayer who also was on Hell's Kitchen. Lucky got her on his show too.
Well, that's the thing, man. Lucky reaches out and he gets these people to come on. It's just fun.
He's got the skills to pay the bills, guys.
Yeah.
So, man, it has been real having you guys on. Thank you, everyone who joined us tonight to come in and comment and
Thanks for all the movie suggestions.
Thank you guys for having us on, bro.
They're going in the box. All those suggestions are going in the box.
Our pleasure.
Except for that one fucking Charles or Chuck mentioned. I'm sorry.
And if you guys got stickers, send them this way, and we'll have them get them over to Lucky for the box there.
You guys want stickers? I have stickers for Dork Dad podcast, and stickers with Now Watch This are coming soon.
Oh,
Awesome.
Coming soon.
I can't wait. I'm there for that. I love a good sticker. All right, guys. We know we like to say at the end of the show, guys. If there's something that you want to do, you want to achieve, you want to be a podcaster. Do it. Seize the day. Go out and do it. Make it
I'll
happen.
answer any questions.
And in order to do that, you have to do.
You can't get lucky. I got him. He's taking ready.
In order to do that, you got to do whatever it takes, guys. Just like Joe did, and just like Luck did to get those guests, guys. For us here and these guys there, have a good night.
Good night.
Right. Cheers.
All right, we're still on, guys. So on the live. So
And we're back.
Yeah, guys. Any last minute questions on the live while we're here? I got to make sure I end the audio on the that one first. So that's like behind the scenes bullshit. But we'll be here for a few seconds here with Lucky and Joe as I get this one closed out. Anything else, guys, you want to say to anyone out there that may be remaining before we get going? Besides what you already said, we already plugged away. So,
No, like I said, we want people to participate. One of the best things about the Friday Night Faithful is, and we get people from everywhere. I was glad Anthony came in and Jerry came in from their Christmas podcast.
Yeah, man.
Kind of turned y'all onto that, and then to see you two go on Jerry's podcast, and man, that was one of my favorite fucking episodes.
that was so fun.
Oh,
Yeah. I cannot wait to hear you. Is it set when you guys going to do it, or it's not?
Oh,
yet?
we're kind of
Schedules?
yeah.
Okay. We want to get Jerry on too, but I really wanted, since he's a Christmas podcast, to do it in December, probably his busy time. But I'm going to start asking him early. We might even try to do a pre-record if it works better for him, because I know he's
He's
schedule's pretty
time,
tight.
yeah.
We appreciate. We know obviously you guys are dads, and you came out on a Friday night. It's like taking you away from your family anyways. Like you got to be here to do it. So.
Let's face it, I'd be home live with y'all.
Oh, you're not at sports. I was lucky
No,
we
yeah,
got today, but I know you do nights sometimes. Luck. So when you said you had to go, so
Yeah, we play tomorrow. So.
okay, good. So I won't be seeing you tomorrow at the birthday.
I might.
I know I said that out that way.
Yeah, we got 2 games. So.
Did I send it to you?
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think I sent it to you because your kids aren't that late.
And I gotta fucking work in the morning.
The youngest is not that.
My youngest, he's 11.
Okay. Oh well, that would have been fine. We're going to have a bouncy. I'll send it to you. I didn't know. I thought they were all bigger.
You're gonna be in the bounty though.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in there than having to host and bullshit. So. Yeah. Happy early birthday to my nephew.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
It's gonna
kid.
be Big 8 tomorrow. No, Sunday. Big 8 Sunday. So yeah, but I'm all fucked up. So yeah, guys, but please go check out these guys' show. At least give them a like, follow on social media and on YouTube. Apparently, I need to go follow you on YouTube. I have 3 channels. So
Yeah.
3 or 4 channels.
3 chapters.
I'm trying to get my numbers up, so I'm just making channels here. So, and please go subscribe to us on YouTube because we need the
Yes.
followers. 55. We're
Trying to get to
there.
100.
Yeah, but no, Anthony, we didn't see the fight, man. If I didn't say that already,
I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I've seen Mayweather when he was before he became big, and he was always boring.
Yeah,
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what's
Boring.
interesting though is
We're
that
just
my
for the money.
kids
Yeah.
that are never fucking into this shit,
we're into
they're like,
it.
bro, you looking at the fight?
Jeez.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. It's fucking crazy.
Golly.
You
Yeah.
guys were talking about your kids earlier.
I was a little bit
Dork
disappointed, Double A, just so you know, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, Logan Paul? Come on, now.
But hey, that's it went into their world.
The
See,
YouTuber.
with me, my nephew plays Fortnite. They started bringing out the Marvel characters. They brought out Predator. Because of Fortnite, we watched the Predator. I got to watch Predator with them. Like the Schwarzenegger with them. Together, I was like, yes, like I'm getting you, slowly reeling you in, you know?
That's the guy from Fortnite.
I know.
Well, when we talked about Army of the Dead, we talked about they have the YouTuber on there now. And you're going to start seeing that shit.
shit.
You're going to start seeing stuff like that. Like, you see movies now and they talk about podcasts. And it's like, fuck, it's never been in the universe at all. So,
No,
Do you guys still have people who ask you? And now we'll talk podcast.
What's a
Podcast. What's a podcast? Right? What's a podcast? For the
Yeah.
longest time, people would see. Y'all remember the days we were doing a pre-show that we were doing?
Yeah.
We finally went to YouTube and we were just recording only like 15, 30 minutes of us just, hey, go check out our show. It's going to be recorded next, blah, blah. And everyone's like, oh, I caught your podcast. I was like, oh.
No, that's the pre-show, bro.
There's literally numerous episodes out there
Yeah.
of me just saying over and over again, like, this is not the show, guys. The show's on Spotify. It's just a free show.
I think I talked about it when I had Aaron on. It's like back in the day, I thought it was like just an Apple thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. I forgot you had that. Aaron B was the guest before us. So it was on Dork Dad.
Yeah.
That thing goes
other
full
great guest.
fucking circle, bro.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And I, you know what? I was just telling my girlfriend the other day. I was like, I really love the friends. I was really unfortunately I didn't get to make it to your son's thing, but I really wanted to go. I was thinking you were going to go, and I was hoping you would have gone too. His son had a grad party. Yeah, I wanted to go check it out. I had told my girlfriend about
rain.
It was in the tsunami, bro.
No, and we had a prior commitment too with her family. And I was just like, dang it. I was like, because I said I really want to foster the relationships I'm making through podcasting because they've been some of the more fulfilling relationships I've had in recent times. You get stuck in your own groups and your own friends and your own cliques. Like I said, I go in those toy groups you invited me to sometimes just to read the comments of these people.
Yeah.
It's utter madness in there. Like I'm like, what is going on? Am I this way? I'm like, I think I'm this way.
Well, it's like, dude, like I grew up with friends, right? I had some friends, but I didn't have friends that would talk comic books with me. Like for the longest time, I was a comic book fan. I mean, everyone says it. You're a comic book fan. You grew up on this shit by yourself because there weren't people talking about it. Even wrestling. There's people that have that fucking that thought about it. That this shit's fake. You watch that shit.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be farther from the fucking truth. But so it's where you find your like-minded fucking people.
Exactly. Right. That's what I hear so much sometimes too. Whatever. We grew up with like each other that happen to like the same stuff, but then sometimes you have another group of friends that aren't into that at all. Like they're into sports or whatever the case may be. So for me, it's kind of like that too. Like I was lucky enough to have people that when I want to talk this stuff, I can come to these people. But then it was like in other groups I'm in, it's like they'd find out and be like, "Oh, you like that?" It's like I didn't know you were into that. So to be in the community with you guys, it makes it really cool. It's like, oh, we're all in the know in a sense about, even though I know sometimes you're not, like you were just as geeked about, we didn't talk at all, guys, about Celebrity Fan Fest. I mean, it's like,
oh yeah.
Ewan McGregor, Hayden
Yeah.
Christensen, and you beat me to the punch. I was like, shit, Lucky scooped me on that shit. But I was like, wow, like we're getting those two? Like that's fucking insane. Ahead of the show, like you were saying, Double A. So pretty serious there. We'll do this last question from Jason. Jason says, what's going on this weekend? Nothing. I don't think Jason we've all got, I think, probably family obligations.
Yeah, family stuff.
Tonight's our night to be with the boys and do the podcast thing. And so usually the ladies of the house.
Friday night is for the boys.
That's it. After this, get back home and get on dad duties, or in my case, uncle duties, godfather duties. So yeah, man. But man, again, I can't say enough, guys. It's been real to have you guys on, and finally, like Joe, get you in the studio and hang out, and Luck, you too, get you in the house finally. You know what I mean? But not our first show together, so.
In this comic wonderland.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, man. Like your Batman Wonderland. That was awesome, man. So, but guys, we're going to get out of here so that these men can all get back to dadding and I can get back to uncling. And we'll probably put a TikTok up for y'all before the night's over. So keep your eyes out for that. But guys, for myself, CM Chuck.
Double A.
Joe.
Lucky.
This has been just another Friday night with Now Watch This. Good night.
Peace.